on what I'm seeing here.
All right. How about now?
It's just like all lead up right now. I mean, I think the stream is playing, and we're probably just ruining the beginning of it because that's how streams be.
That's how streams be indeed.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, um, hmm. I don't know. I don't know if we're live or not. All I'm getting is just this starting soon animation. And it's got music playing, which is kind of cool.
I set that up. I'm just wondering if people in the chat.
Yeah, if you're in the chat and you hear us talking and we're just being annoying, just say something. But by the time we read that, it'll probably be so delayed. Okay, yep, I got your screen up. We're definitely 100% live then.
Okay, but can they hear us?
Let me make sure I'm unmuted. Yep, they can hear us. It's a little behind, but they can hear us.
All right, perfect then. Hello, everyone. You sinful mortals. I am a geek for fun, and joining me, as always, is my beautiful fellow geek for fun in arms, Sid Parter.
So wait, if you're the Goku Black, does that make me Zamasu?
I mean, if you want to count that hug that we had later, yeah, sure. But I mean, I wouldn't want to talk about that on stream. But if you want to bring it up, so professional.
Fine, be that way. Uh, all right, looks like the chat's popping off. We got a couple people from the Discord here. Hi, nice to see y'all. Prince Vegeta in the chat. That's cool.
He
Tevin
lives.
Daniels. Yeah. It's good to see Vegeta's in the chat. You know, I
Yeah.
always gotta enjoy Vegeta being around.
Oh boy. But yeah, so just a little for opener for what this is. It's pretty self-explanatory, but as you can see on the page, we have a gorgeously drawn young Odin by the fantastic Malik DBNA. You can find his link right in the description below. Do that right now. Follow him on Twitter. Make sure you check out his own fan projects. He's the main artist for Dragon Ball Norse, and as you can see, his work is phenomenal. He did the 4 art, he did the Loki art, and he did the prior Odin art. This art we're going to be using for Odin in his younger days when he was rapscallion, building Asgard from the basis. We got a little hint of that in Whis' explanation of his backstory in the opening episode, but we're going to delve into that next time to kind of show you some glimpses and a little bit of flashback. Maybe involving Beerus?
Ooh.
But yeah, so I'm just going to be, again, line art here was done by Malik DBNA. I'm just going to be coloring it. Don't know how much progress I'll make tonight. Maybe I can get it done and then we'll do a shading in like another stream or something. But yeah, while we're here, we're going to answer any of your questions regarding the future of DBDC, projects of the channel. I know we've been away for a little bit. And just in general, like you did last time, if you've got any what-if suggestions or things you want us to answer, me and Sid Part 2 are going to be absolutely thankful to answer any of those and discuss it in our own merry fashion. So yeah, that's about it.
Yay. Yeah, awesome. Oh, and looks like Adam Zuckermal's in the chat too. Yay!
Yay!
Thanks for coming by. Whoa, wow, $10 donation right off the bat. That's awesome. Thank you, Todd Howard.
Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah, it says greeting Geek and Sid. It's Crumb from the server. I just wanted some relationship advice from my new relationship. My new BF is a great guy, and I want some tips to keep our relationship. Oh my, okay, so this is all right. Let's doom a relationship by giving terrible advice. All right,
Yay.
yeah, I don't know. Like this is one of those things because I'm a geek that's married. Alfie's in a long-term relationship. And people have asked me like, Ian, how did you find a girlfriend and a wife and all that stuff? And I'm like, I treated her like a person. I don't have literally any experience with like knowing what to say for advice for relationships. I'm just gonna say just be cool to each other. Remember that the person you're with, and this isn't just in anyone. This is the person you're with has feelings and wants and needs too. And try to be there for those. Try to just be an empathetic, good person, and usually that's the kind of things that keep people in relationships. And if someone's not happy with that, then they're probably not the kind of person you want to be in a relationship with. So there are some hefty life advice to start this out.
Yeah.
How about you, Alfie? What's your input on relationships?
Um, find a best friend you can fuck. Just that's my thing. Is just
I need to be stopped. Listen to you.
look. I'm just letting people know. Like you said, treat them like a person. Just find someone you just enjoy spending time with. Because goddamn, if you want to make it a serious relationship, you're gonna be spending a lot of time with them. It'd be hate if you annoy each other. But at the same time, I also feel like you want to make sure that it's not just a friendship. You want to make sure there is like a connection there. That there's a spark between you. So just make sure to nurture that. Look after each other. Be kind. Be tolerant. Be accepting of other people's needs. Don't fall in love for how it makes you feel. Fall in love for who they are as well. Don't try and get that selfish, possessive love. Try and also just don't be an Anakin kind of thing. So yeah, that's my whole take. But yeah, other than that, just wish you both all the best.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The other thing I've said for a while is find someone who you're comfortable being bored with. I read like a really shitty like "love is this" quote on the internet once, and I'm like, no, love isn't freaking skydiving every other week. Eventually, you're gonna get exhausted with that shit, and then you're not in love with the person. You're in love with the stuff you did. And that's just I don't know. Find someone that you're comfortable being bored with. And that's just I don't know. That's some heavy shit, and I think people are here for geeky. Like, what if Goku punched Frieza in the gut first, in his tummy? Poor Frieza getting punched in his tummy.
Did you see the compilation about that sort of post on Twitter?
Yeah, yeah, that's what put it in my head. It was just I didn't realize like there's just some things that happen a lot in Dragon Ball that just are like once you notice them, they become very prevalent. So yeah, let's go through some other things here. Um, uh, what if Goku had no legs and a lisp? I don't know.
He'd probably still kick ass.
I know. Well, not kick, but
Oh fuck! There's a Freudian slip right there.
right, right. The lisp thing, I don't think would affect him. Goku's not exactly one for big speeches.
In the sub, he kind of already has a lisp.
Todd Howard also says, "So will one shot month be a thing?" I mean, I think we still kind of want to do that, but just because of the way things fell, we're not going to focus on that as much. It's just getting some stuff finished and getting some of the long-standing series, getting progress on those, I guess would be the thing to say. We do still want to do some one-shots. Should I announce?
Yeah, if you wanna go ahead.
Okay. I am working on one shot right now. It's been scripted, recorded. I got the voice actor down for it and everything. I'm planning to be the one to edit this episode. It'll be the first episode I edit on this channel, and I'm going to just show fucking ropes and be like, I did this in a day. But and it's going to be what if Xenomorphs were in Dragon Ball? So that you have that to look forward to, and that's because of just conversation that happened on the Discord. So I hope to really get that one turned out. I don't want to promise anything right this second, but by the end of the week, might be posted. We'll see. At least maybe for the Patreons. So we'll see how that goes.
Exciting. Very happy to see how that turned out script wise. I think it's to be a very special one indeed. I hope because we've been doing mostly just series stuff lately, so hopefully this will be a return to form in coming back and doing individual pieces. If anyone follows me on Twitter or was in the Discord, you'll have also see something that I'm working on individually, which is a Superman Star Wars one shot. So we're getting back into those. Hopefully we'll be able to do them and the main series just as frequently as each other and get a nice balance going. I think that's going to be something very exciting. So yeah.
Yeah. We want to try to be more consistent with uploads, but unfortunately, life stuff happens. Alrighty, let's see here. Will this mythology series expand to more mythologies? Basically, Dragon Ball Greek, Dragon Ball Egypt.
Um, for the moment, no. I really want to tell the story of Dragon Ball Norse as best I can. The response to it has been fantastic, though, and once the story's said and done, if I've still got a hankering to do more arcs, then maybe, yeah, maybe. I know, the name of the artist escapes me. Artist, right? I'm not exactly sure if he does both or if he just does the writing, but the person who's been doing the story of the Saiyan who landed on Beerus's home planet, he did a lot of Egyptian mythology.
Hmm.
And if I ever wanted to tackle that, I'd honestly just want to get him involved on the channel and just like do a collab with him because I really like how he's incorporated Egyptian mythology into Dragon Ball.
Mm, okay, that's a cool idea. Oh, hey, Steve Baxley's here. He said, "Sup, sup,
Yo,
Steve."
it's the sex
Uh,
man.
Todd Howard has a request. Could Geek offer his dashing British voice to bless me and my BF relationship?
Uh, Hey, this is Geek for Fun, and I'm just here to let you both know that when you cuddle up behind the fire and share those intimate, sensual kisses, think of me. There you
All right,
go.
I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna skip down the chat a little bit to the comic platypus who just did a super chat for $2. Thank you,
Oh,
comic
thank you.
platypus. Yeah. And he says, "What if DBDC Goku landed in Kandak? It's that fake, vaguely Middle Eastern country that DC made up. Isn't
Yes.
that the one Black Adam rules over, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken?"
it
Okay.
is.
Okay, so what if Dragon Ball DC Goku landed in there? Well, I guess it depends on if Black Adam kind of becomes the leader of the country after like the DC universe proper is established for a while, right? Like it's when he comes back to Earth and stuff. So in my mind, he tries to take over and gets trounced by Goku. Well, maybe not, because I don't know if Goku's at a power high enough to deal with Black Adam at that point in time. That's
Mm-hmm.
an interesting one. Um, I guess I'll say this: we do have an idea for Black Adam to appear in DBDC at some point and play a role for at least an episode. So that should be interesting, and maybe we'll have to think a little bit more on what exactly his country's like in our continuity.
Yeah,
So.
I think that's a very interesting proposition, especially in the wake of Doomsday Clock doing a lot with him.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I'd be very down to not only tackle Black Adam more, but if people like our response to that, maybe doing a one shot or such or something. Maybe not Goku, but I could see what if Superman landed there being a
Mhm.
fun experiment in the thought requirements. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. As far as like DBDC Goku landing there, I guess I just don't know enough about Black Adam's lore and stuff to really give a definitive answer on this, but I feel like he'd at least try to beat him up, because he's kind of a dick. So he's like a strong opponent that would be surfacing. Though I don't know how much is he worshipped like Doom is? Is it like a good thing for his people, or what's going on with that side of stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it more complicated. I'll just be fully honest. I don't know enough about that lore of the DC universe to really give a confident answer on that one quite yet. That's what I'll say.
More research to be continued.
Yeah. All right. Here we got another $2 from Todd Howard, and he says, "What if Goku landed in the Watchmen universe?" Oh
Alan Moore's head
my word.
explodes.
Yeah, I just like the Watchmen universe is and Goku are on such opposite ends of the spectrum. I think he just because like Alan Moore's whole point with Watchmen is superheroes are dicks, and Goku's kind of a selfish person, but he's far from a dick, you know. So he kind of breaks that universe in a really weird way. And also, he's just gonna be like really awkward. He'll just like start laughing at Dr. Manhattan for not wearing pants.
Mm-hmm. No, he probably take his pants off as been like, well, if he's doing
Yeah, I
it.
mean that guy's naked. Why can't I be naked if I'm fighting? I'm so much more flexible this
Uh-huh.
way. Ugh.
So there,
You know?
that's one thing. He immediately just like calls Rorschach out on his shit just for being stupid. He's like, "You're pretty dumb, huh? Why are you so angry?"
I love your Goku voice so much. Uh, let's see here. Prince, gonna scroll back up a little bit. Prince Vegeta says, not sure why, but I remember there being a Ben 10 comic created by DC and the whole Dragon Ball DC thing. Dragon Ball B10, random thought. I've literally never even watched so much as an episode of Ben 10, so I really would have no idea what to do with that. I think Goku would think it's a cheat, because he's just like becoming a different creature.
Yeah,
But
it's
I think
almost
he'd be
like a
exciting to fight it.
it's almost like a Ginyu type deal where
Yeah.
Goku would probably be like, you'd probably be better if you just picked one and stuck to it and trained.
Hmm. Fucking like just Rex Ben 10 shit.
Uh-huh. I mean, of course, there's... God, that was a thing on YouTube a while back, wasn't it? It was just like, Ben 10 can beat everyone. I'm sure he can. I don't know that much about the later versions of Ben 10. I just remember the original show. Um, but, like, again, I just think Goku would be, like you said, morally opposed to just the idea of using a device for power.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's see here. Trenton Brown says, "What if Goku had relationship problems with Chi-Chi? You just have Dragon Ball because they kind of do in certain ways."
They're both as dumb as each other, and they make it work in a way that no one else in that verse could with either of them. So they're really
Mm.
soulmates. They both deal with each other's bullshit in the only way they can. So it's kind of sweet. I don't think it's as negative as a lot of people complain about to be. I think Chi-Chi's quite good at holding Goku to the line while also being dumb as a bag of bricks, so she needs to be held to the line without even realizing it sometimes. So
Mhm.
they've got a very good dynamic. If they were to ever have like domestic issues, I think Goku would be fine. I think Goku would just he'd let her do her thing, what's best for her, and just move on, and his life wouldn't really change. He'd probably just be a lot more hungry.
Mhm.
Chi Chi, however, I don't know. She could lose it. Without that stable grounding, you could get like a future Gohan situation where she's just alone in the house knitting.
Aw,
I
poor
know it's
her.
sad. That's why you don't ask sad questions.
Uh,
Gives me sad answers.
I know. I don't know. Like there was an interesting thing. I think it came from Akira himself, where he was talking about like, oh yeah, Goku just because he's a Saiyan, he just kind of sees Chi Chi as just like another one of his friends. It's really only Vegeta because he's like royalty that understands proper relationships. I'm like, I don't know if that makes much sense, but it puts a new light on their whole relationship in a really weird way. I don't know if I like that retcon, but it's
Hmm.
something that I know I've heard.
I think it's
Uh,
unnecessary. I think it's just overcomplicating something that's meant to be simple and funny.
yeah, I
Uh,
mean, Toriyama's come out and said he's just not good at writing romance, which is funny because he's done some pretty good romances.
he's done a lot of things he says he's bad at, so that man
Mhm.
is either very humble or very oblivious. I'm gonna go with option two.
What if Goku started a Christian choir and over time he became more religious to the point where he stops fighting and makes gospel music after the fight with Frieza? Um,
You would pack that up.
like you just described the whole story though. That's what would happen, I guess. I don't know. I just the idea of like Saiyan artists and stuff is something that kind of makes me scratch my head because they're apparently born to fight. It's in their blood. But then you have like, well, who designed the royal crest of the Vegeta house? Who what was up with the scientist dude? In the Broly movie, just things get a little complicated there. So I guess it's possible. I just don't really know like what the story there is beyond Goku becomes super Christian.
I am the super Christian, the one from London. What? There's no way! Damn it, Kakarot! I did all my surveys all my life. I followed church every Sunday, and still, you surpassed me. It's okay, Vegeta. The Lord loves us all. Fuck the Lord!
Oh my God, that's the funniest shit ever. Okay, moving on. One MPV one boy says, "What does Harley Quinn think about Goku?" She thinks he's actually really funny.
Yeah, she thinks she's cute.
Yep. Little behind the scenes thing when we were talking about ships and relationships and stuff. For a while, we played with the idea of Goku and Harley Quinn, but we decided that Ivy's the better relationship for them, so we dropped that.
But there's definitely one of those things. They're both very easygoing. They're both super all about living in the moment and having fun. And they're not very self-conscious. And I think Harley could probably do with someone who would just like let her wear the pants.
Yeah,
So
but
there
I
is
think, and
that.
again, I think the thing is that's Ivy though for
Exactly
her.
right. It's just it's one of those things where it very they work really well in our universe as just friends because they could have made a good couple in an alternative timeline of us writing this.
Mhm.
But other than that, yeah, they Harley wishes the Joker for Goku more just because he's more fun, but the Joker can't stand Goku because he can't tell jokes about like Goku's just a walking gag. Like there's nothing to break down there.
Mhm. It's just he can't be the straight man for him, and Joker needs to be fighting a straight man. Joker versus Superman's doable because Superman isn't as like tough and gritty as Batman, but also he's not a clown. You know, like Superman can be funny, but that's just not his thing. Whereas Goku's like a good part of Goku, his whole thing is being funny. So yeah, that's kind of just an interesting thing to lore thing we've talked about. Um, Jason Campbell says, just want to say I love the videos. I think I found you through Malik, and I'm happy I stuck around. Excited to see where you take DB Norris. Yeah, DB Norris, like initially the Zoro Kenshin and DB Norris were like, okay, these things probably won't do the views, but these are stories we've wanted to tell, and DB Norris has really taken off in a cool way.
I'm
Uh,
very happy about that.
yeah, we did not expect people to be as into it as they are, but it's been really cool to see the reaction to it. And thanks to Malik for sending some people our way, and of course doing the art for this image you're seeing right now.
Exactly. Ha! Look how gorgeous
uh,
it is. Wow, he's so
I mean,
hot.
it's a lot of crotch right now, but
I
there's.
mean, we could get more crotch.
Oh.
I have that power.
Spider-Man 2099 says, "What does the Joker think of Kakarot Ken?" Yeah, he can't stand him because he's a clown. And yeah, so we just talked about that one. Um, Jason Gamble says, "I think his name is Jordan. Either that one, the artist's name, either that or one of the artists is named Jordan. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Maybe
Oh
Malik."
yes, that is a the person who does the Beerus thing I was talking about earlier. Thank you for that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All
Yeah,
right.
he follows us as well, so yeah, that's why
Oh,
I
cool,
felt bad about like not knowing his name off the top of my head. But yeah, Jordan,
cool.
cool dude.
King Karak says, "What if Trunks and Goten were reincarnations of Frieza and Perfect Cell, like Oob?" That's interesting.
I think you
I
have to make
don't know
Trunks
if it
Freezer.
works, but it's interesting. Yeah, I think you've got an easier time convincing me Trunks and Frieza than you do of Perfect Cell and Goten.
The only thing you can maybe get into is like the potential. And
I
Goten's
mean,
just so good, so young with like Trunks had Vegeta to train him.
mhm.
So there's always been that in the fandom. It's like Goten is the youngest Super Saiyan, and like Cell, he's also kind of bored all the time. So maybe there's some merit to that. You probably, like you said, you probably have to change Goten more than you would have to change Trunks. But
Because Trunks has like he's kind of full of himself. He's kind of like, oh, I'm the strongest. I don't even need to train or whatever. Like I don't know if that works 100%, but you can at least see a part of it there, right?
mhm.
Of course, we know for a fact Frieza's never been reincarnated because he's just so purely evil that his soul can't be cleansed, which is a retcon I really freaking like.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, like Boo, a monster created just to be evil, is able to be reincarnated in like no time at all. But Frieza, just a normal guy, is so fully evil that he can't be saved. is such a good dynamic. The Comic Platypus, another $2 donation. Thank you so much. Oh man, making bank on these streams.
Huzzah!
Does DBDC Goku eat at Batburger? DBDC Goku eats everywhere. There is not a restaurant he doesn't eat at. He goes like, oh, Big Belly Burger's my favorite, except for Batburger. They're my favorite. Oh, but you know what my absolute favorite is? Like that's just DBDC Goku. I was trying to think of another DC restaurant and I can't off the top of my head.
It's just like Alfred's Kitchen. Not a restaurant, Goku, but I go there and he makes me food.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh. Like Alfred's always such a G. He shows up and he's got like the food for all the Justice League members, and usually Flash is the only one that eats it because everyone else is like too focused or too polite and shit. And Goku's always there, and like Flash and Goku show up at the same time, and Alfred's just like, oh god.
So, but at the same time, he's just like, well, at least they fucking eat it. Master Bruce has been staring at that sandwich for the last 8 hours. I'll get to it eventually, Alfred.
Master Bruce, it's covered in mold. Ugh.
That means it's tested.
Yeah. Prince Vegeta. This one's somewhat of a shout out to Cyber Samurai. Dragon Ball X Hyperdimension Neptunia. In my mind, you'd probably have to replace Earth with something, but yeah. Gamidustry. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that a second time. I have no idea what Hyperdimension is. Hyperdimension Neptunia is.
Neither do I.
So,
I just know Hyperdimension was a Dragon Ball Z game.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have no context to answer that one, unfortunately. Okay, Souls Hymn says, will you introduce any of the different homelands of the various Norse races?
Yes.
That is part of the lore already, actually. It's baked into the first episode.
Mm-hmm. And you will get to see more of them.
Yep. But it's not just Asgard that's there. It's Odin's solar system. So that's kind of the conceit, is the 9 worlds of Odin's solar system is all part of the world tree there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got another. We got 2 in a row. All right, Comic Platypus and Todd Howard just really coming out here and killing it with the donations. Thanks a ton, guys. It means so much.
Definitely.
Okay. Does Goku understand the concept of monogamous sex?
No.
Oh,
Goku doesn't
boy.
understand the concept of sex. He just kind of does it. So, no, he does not in any way, shape, or form. But you wouldn't have a problem with it. He's pretty chill.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And Todd Howard says, I think you missed one of my super chats. Yes, we did. I apologize for that. Just trying to scroll back and forth, and I guess I skipped over it. Thought we answered it.
Moderator, bad.
I know. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. What if Johnny Joestar met the Doom Patrol? Oof. Okay. I've just gotten into Doom Patrol a little bit because of the series, which was absolutely fantastic, and you're a big fan of JoJo.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go on the kind of controversial take from what I've seen of JoJo. I haven't seen all of it, but I don't think that JoJo's power set is freaky enough to really mesh well with the Doom Patrol.
Okay, so Johnny Joestar's power is that he can shoot his fingernails like bullets.
Okay, never mind. His power set is absolutely freaky enough.
Oh, the timing on that. You can't write this shit. Yeah, he's one of the freakier JoJo, which is why I think he specifically was mentioned. Um, I think he'd fit really well because A, he's a dick when you first meet him, and B, he's got that like disability that means that he's kind of given up on the world. But then the Doom Patrol finds a way to turn it into a positive, which is kind of his whole arc in his part is trying to find a way to make do with the fact that he can't use his legs and find creative ways for like his power that on the surface seems really fucking weak, but then he finds creative ways to make it like the most busted thing in the verse. So it's like insane. Yeah, I think that'd be a great combination. It's just once you introduce JoJo, it changes everything because once you introduce stands, you have to have, well, why doesn't this person have this as well? So you'd have to give every single member of the Doom Patrol their own stand.
Mm. Yeah, and see, I never got to that part of the JoJo stuff. I only got to see the first two parts. But yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I do like the idea of Doom Patrol kind of like his arc meshing well with being in the Doom Patrol. Smug Sticks here to blow you some shit saying, crazy how I'm not a mod. Don't worry, Smug. I'm like literally modding the thing, and I wasn't a mod until 5 minutes before the fucking stream.
You
So
must
I think
all
we
bow down to me if you want just a smidgen of my power. You are bold to presume, Smugstick, that you can come into my stream, ask to become a mod, and I will simply allow this. First, you must kill your best friend.
Oh, it reminds me of that episode of Futurama where it's like, fine, Bender, I'll give you this in exchange for your firstborn child.
Yeah,
It just cuts and he's like, Dad! All right, here you go.
that's just me and Smugstick right now.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. All right, let's go back up a little bit. Yeah, sorry about missing the super chat. I'll make sure that doesn't happen again. All right. Where was I at? Okay. What if the Saiyans were in StarCraft? I've never played StarCraft. I have no context on this one either.
Same. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know. I guess like because I know the meta of the game a little bit, so I think they just wreck shit because they're pretty much just like rush in and bum rush kind of fighters as just a race. They're not exactly the strategic type most of the time. So I think they pretty much wreck your real time strategy game as like they're not going to wait for you to build bases because they just start out with such a high attack level, you know?
They basically are their own elite force. The only thing I'll say is, just in terms of any spacefaring plus the Saiyans, is the biggest advantage any race has of like beating them is that they are very limited in space travel. Because they have to use other, like, even if you give them the conceit of, okay, they get their space pods have no attack abilities, they have to basically put themselves in hibernation, and they're very vulnerable if they're in there. So if you can just make sure they don't get to your planet, you'll be fine.
That's one thing that always got me with Shenron's bullshit at the beginning of the Saiyan saga. He's like, Oolong wishes Shenron to get rid of the Saiyans. He's like, I am limited by the creator of the Dragon Ball's power, and since he's not strong enough to get rid of the Saiyans, neither am I. And I'm like, you can't fucking direct their spaceship into a sun, fucking Shenron, useless shit.
Yep.
Okay. Will you introduce any of the other different? Okay, we already got that one. Will Surtur show up in DB Norse?
I don't know. Surtur implies Ragnarok, and that'd be a pretty big spoiler, so I don't know. You'd have to just keep watching.
DSM 24 says make a Ragnarok. Oh, Bet you didn't think of that one.
Wow. Now that you've said it, I'm gonna have to steal your idea and not credit you, so thanks.
uh, Haram Boy,
Oh God.
69. That's a good one. Says, what if James Corden wasn't popular? What if James Corden never existed in the first place? I don't like James Corden.
Yeah, I
Well,
feel you there.
that's okay. I don't know who that is, so you got that. Um, Titan 680 is donated £2.
Oh yay!
Um,
Finally, someone's British.
yeah, and he says thoughts on Goku in a D&D world, aka Critical Role. I believe this. Yeah, this is one of the guys from
Yeah,
our
Mythos, I
Discord.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, who's doing that, and that's. I think that's a really cool idea for a fic because I think Goku fits well into that, and it blends well with this whole Journey to the West inspiration thing. To just be, dealing with monsters and whatnot every other week, or what have you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he works there in more of a traditional sense. I'm not sure how powerful he gets because the scaling in D&D is not something I'm super familiar with. But like, part of the fun of Goku, especially as a kid, is he's this little kid who just fucking wrecks everything. Like that, someone uh, was on Twitter talking about the scene where the Red Ribbon Army just shoots up Goku while he's in the bathroom, and the voice actress for Goku thought my character's dead, shit, and he just comes out of the bathroom, is like, "Ow, that hurt." So like, I don't know what you do with Goku in a D&D world, but it's an interesting one. Shortbeard has donated $5 and just says, "Hi guys, I don't have a question. Just sending some love while on my break." Thanks a ton, Shortbeard. Love that.
Much appreciated. Hope you have a good day at work, bud.
Yeah, yeah. Go out there and kick work's ass. Haram Boy 69 says James Corden is the fat British talk show host. Oh, that one. Okay. Yeah, I don't watch much late night TV anymore. Is there something I'm supposed to do with super chats? Because like it gives me like this little timer at the top, and then I don't know if it's just like, hey, make sure you notice this.
No, I think it's just there so you just know how recent it is.
Gotcha. Okay. My bad. My bad. All right, scroll back up a little bit. Do, 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 do. Damn, where was I? I almost need to like highlight this stuff. I think that's what I did last time, and I've completely forgotten that, and I'm relearning it, and I bet I'm going to do that every time now. Um,
Yay.
okay. Zuckermall says, Yo Geeks, I wanted to make that Goku flying into action sketch into a proper artwork. Found out DB Fighter is going to drop another Goku. Now I'm fed up with Goku. What we going to do now? Sticky outy tongue. Don't worry, we're going to do some Turles artwork, and it's going to be...
It's going to be fantastic. Just wait. It's going to be unbelievable. You won't believe your eyes. Absolutely. Oh, nothing better, really.
Oh, yeah. That got announced today, didn't it? That Fighters is doing Ultra Instinct Goku, isn't it? I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about how Fighters works as a fighting game, but I kind of just wish that, like, that was unlocked as, like, playing really well, that you just, instead of downloading a whole new character character and it's just another Goku, it'd just be cool if it's like, here's a patch to Goku's power set, and now there's a combo that takes you to Ultra Instinct for the rest of the fight. So have fun with that.
That's how I'm kind of feeling. I always wanted the idea to be like how in Marvel vs. Capcom, how Phoenix works is if you're at a certain level of health and then you get beaten, but you have certain amount of like bar, you suddenly come into Dark Phoenix for like a minute, and you can just like it's like the last chance to win, which makes it a really fun character. I think that'd be perfect for Ultra Instinct Goku. Is just you put it on Super Saiyan Blue Goku that if you've done certain things and you've got this much meter left when you die, you get a chance as Ultra Instinct where you're like invincible for like 30 seconds, and the person just has to survive you until you run out.
That could be cool. Smugstick says, or you're invincible until you drop a combo, because then you're not in the moment anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a cool little like hindrance to it. That'd be sweet. Smug6 just donated 2.99 just to say, crazy how I'm not streaming with y'all.
Wow.
The
Wow.
shade. Oh man. Yeah, that is crazy. Smug, huh? That's so weird. I can't believe that.
Anyway, quick question to the chat. I'm just debating a color scheme for Odin's little sash here. Do you think this color here works, or the same color I've got for the gauntlets?
We will keep an eye on that as things develop in chat. Comic Platypus donated another $2 and says, "Did DBDC Bruce try slash fail to learn key manipulation?" Okay, so this is an interesting thing that where we're not sure how much we're going to be able to get into it just in story, and it's kind of better as supplemental material. So the headcanon thing we've gone with to not just like shit on, amazing martial arts characters in DC like Batman, Lady Shiva, so on and so forth, is everyone has the ability in the DC universe to unlock key just like on Earth. It's just harder for them, and for whatever reason, it's just easier for the Saiyans biologically to tap into it. So they just have a more natural ability to get there, but anyone else could. It's just wildly harder. And kind of the scene that I imagined for it is to give just I Ching a little bit more to do, and we might go back and add this at some point, is Goku when he first met I Ching and heard him talk about ki and controlling it and everything. I Ching gave him a demonstration in which he used ki to manifest a yin yang in order to display the depths of control. And I Ching was like, and I can teach you this power. And Goku's like, you mean you can teach me to do that? And I Ching says, yes, but it'll take you 50 years. And then Goku manages to create like a small like fitzing burst of ki in just a few minutes. So we get like kind of a cool nod to the Master Roshi Kamehameha moment without going too OP right away. So that's kind of our headcanon for the moment. We'll probably find a way to work that more in series, but that is a good question for like supplemental material, which is what these Q&As are great for.
100%.
But yeah, that's a scene that I've thought of, and I'm like, God, I wish I could have written that in episode 1.
Wow,
It
hindsight's a
just
bitch.
yeah, hindsight 2020, all that. Jason Campbell says there's this one fan comic called 5 Years Later. It's a crossover comic between Ben 10 and Danny Phantom. Haven't read all of it, but it seems pretty neat. Oh, that does sound cool. I like Danny Phantom. I'm weird. Like as much as I'm like, God, just enjoy the jokes, Dragon Ball fandom. It's your series is also part comedy. I'm also like, man, I really don't like Danny Phantom because it's too comedic. I wish it was more just gritty and serious.
You need to be stopped. Just all we need to know about Danny Phantom and its entire turn is its fucking intro. It's like, he's a phantom. Like that tells you no.
Yo,
that
Danny
this is
Phantom, he was just 14 when his parents built a very
no.
strange machine. It was designed to view a world unseen. He's gonna catch him off because he's Danny Phantom. When it didn't work, his folks, they just quit. When Danny took a look inside of it, there was a great big flash. Everything just changed. His molecules got all rearranged. He's gonna catch him off because he is Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom.
I can't remember the third verse.
But you impressively did. That's a stream highlight if I've ever heard one.
You're welcome for that. All right. What if Goku landed in the Elder Scrolls universe? Would Goku be a Shezarine? Again, don't know enough about Elder Scrolls. Sorry. Do you know anything about Elder Scrolls?
Not that much. I imagine. I mean, again, you say Goku lands there, but do you want to change his race as well, or do you want to just keep him as a Saiyan in there? Because I think that's almost two different things, right? Is like, do you keep him a Saiyan and just let him go wild in there, which he quickly overpowers that verse, apart from with the magic and stuff, which he could probably do in him, because again, he's got no counter to that. But then do you again, so many questions you want to answer it that I think are best served by someone like, who's more familiar with the lore. But just in general, I'm normally a-okay with Goku's one of those characters you can kind of throw him in anything because he's so versatile. I'm sure there'd be a very good idea in there somewhere that someone else could handle.
Hmm. That's yeah, that's one of those things where like some of these what ifs that get thrown at us and we're just like we don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there like I feel like that's how a lot of other Dragon Ball what ifers feel when they're like, what if Goku was in the DC universe? It's like I don't know anything about DC. That's got to be someone else's story, and that's ours. And I feel like some of these, maybe there is an interesting story there. We just don't have the context for it, and that's kind of just our moment to encourage other people try making your own videos. It's super fun if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it doesn't take off or something, just have fun with it. um, Comic Platypus says Black Adam is probably better to his people than Doom. He doesn't want to rule the world, just wants to do what is best for his people. That is kind of interesting then. Yeah, I'm gonna have to read up on some Black Adam lore before we put him in series. That's one thing we always try to do is like if we're going to put a character in, even if it's going to be very briefly, we try to get a sense of them, and give them like a cool time to shine. There's very few characters who are like, all right, we just need someone for Goku or Vegeta or whoever to just stunt on. And so we do try to put in some work on these guys and give them their due diligence. So.
Mm-hmm. Like Lady Shiva and Cassandra Cain have become favorites of mine, whereas like before I did this series, I barely knew anything about Shiva particularly. So
Mhm.
that's the fun of doing the research with these characters.
Alrighty. The Hypno Alien Network. Great username. While me over here creating species that would be fit into any universe. Sure. Okay. I don't know what that was in reference to. Sorry, I'm behind on chat, I guess. Nice to know there are more people out there who don't think Gochi is a terrible couple. I mean, they're not perfect, and if you don't like them, fine, but they're not that bad. Yeah, absolutely. I think they're a really cute couple. Actually, I quite like the way that they get married in the ring and all that. That's just super fun, or engaged rather in the ring is super fun to me. I think that's one of Toriyama's most endearing romantic moments that he's put in Dragon Ball, even if he says he's not good at it.
Like again, yeah, you're right. Fun group. Goku's whole family is a fun time. Goten's really the only one who's letting the team down there.
Aw, don't be one of those. Uh,
No, for no fault of his own. I feel like he just doesn't like. He just became Trunks' sidekick, and then Trunks didn't get to do anything. So like, what's he gonna do now? I feel like I think he's got potential. It's just Chi Chi, Gohan, and Goku are some of my favorite characters in the series. So it's tough.
mhm.
It's tough competition. Even Pan, like I feel like even Baby Pan in Super is just a great.
Oh man, poor Goten. Poor Goten. Maybe we need to do an in-universe what if and give Goten something cool to do. That'd be a
Yeah,
fun one.
maybe.
Mhm. Um, Tevin Daniels, what if Bulma and Yamcha stayed together? Um, I guess they'd be fine. I think their relationship was always really on the rocks, just the entire series. Like people got mad, like, oh, Bulma broke up with Yamcha because supposedly he cheated on her. Um, but like at the same time, even in Dragon Ball, like when there was that break before we see them again, they seem to be kind of in a rocky relationship. I think they were like the perfect couple for each other at a time, and then they both grew and changed as people, and they're just not fit for each other anymore, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, I feel that's a good example. So if they did stay together, I imagine Bulma, she'd be fine, but she wouldn't be nearly as comfortable with herself that you see her in Super and the end of Z.
Mm-hmm.
She'd probably be a little bit more aggressive, like she is in Namek in the Saiyan Saga, where it's like her arguing with Yamcha's kind of like trying her patience a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd probably be about that on a character front. Yamcha would probably be a little bit more relevant. Whoever that kid ended up being, because I think they would eventually have a kid, would be interesting because it would be like putting someone in Trunks' position without any of the potential.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they'd lean more into the science aspect, and if Bulma's being more angry, maybe they take Bulma's role as the science person on the group.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it'd be an interesting what if to explore, especially because their relationship is so foundational to the series. It's the first couple we see on screen that I
Mm-hmm.
definitely think there's some narrative potential there. It's just one of those things that it's a Toriyama, like I say, doesn't write romance, but Yamcha and Bulma's falling out is actually a very adult take on that.
They don't like hate each other or anything. They're still friends. I really like that.
Uh-huh. So
Um,
there's one of those things that I feel like you almost it's a story that can only be told in fan fiction,
mhm.
because it is such a you have to be very mature when you handle what a dysfunctional relationship like that isn't abusive. It's just not the best for each of them. Looks like without just getting overly sad.
Yeah. I'm looking through the comments, and a lot of people are saying, "Yeah, make the thing the same color as the arm braces,
Okay.
the bluish." So yeah, that seems to be the popular one. Alrighty, go back up to my highlighted comment. I really like this one. I'm really excited because I'm just gonna stay quiet and let you answer. Jason Campbell, joking question: if Fun Sexy DB offered her services, would you take them?
Yeah. Moving on. What's next?
You're not gonna revel in that for even a second, huh?
Look, she knows what she can do. She is extremely talented artist, and if she'd be passionate about any of the ships we have in this, she just does what she does best, and I'll let her handle any of the nitty gritty details. I would be very happy just to get any sort of fan art, especially
Hmm.
something like that, which would be like it would be great for exposure, but just in general, it'd
Hmm.
be fun to see someone else with that art
Yeah.
style to have a crack at it.
Yeah, like we do mainly like some safe for work stuff. We try to keep things relatively all ages, except in streams where we curse like sailors. But the like adult side of these kind of relationships and stuff is something that I do think is naturally very interesting, and it's something that we have the potential to explore in a fanfic. We just need to see if we have the right story to justify it. We don't want to do anything that's going to feel just pure fan servicey and like smutty with it. If we're going to do like these characters doing like actually talk about these characters' sexual relationship, it's going to have to serve the story in a really significant way. But as far as just do these characters bone, yes. Um, so it'd be certainly fun and cool to see that. I really do like her art. She is very very good at just drawing the characters in that very anime fun style, and she does a good job bridging that gap and also making it sexy too, which is super cool. Um, what's Plastic Man's opinion on Goku? Asks Todd Howard.
Hmm. I feel like Plastic Man's interesting because I feel like his opinion would probably change the more he got to know him. Because on surface value, he probably think Goku's kind of a not worth time because he's an idiot, and Plastic Man probably sees him like a bit of a rube, that someone who doesn't deserve that power, and just because like, well, if he's got a good reputation, well, I'm not gonna listen to him because like look at all these other heroes that can try and follow the footsteps of this guy's like blowing up buildings constantly, and like the media doesn't really like him that much and all of that. But then I imagine the more you hang out with him, you probably think, oh, this guy's probably the most sociable guy to sit down and have a beer with out of the whole Justice League. He's
Mm-hmm.
pretty great at listening.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna headcanon this. I'm gonna unofficial canon something right now.
Okay.
Plastic Man and his gang were busted by Goku and Batman on a team up,
That's
and Goku's the one who's like, oh no, let this guy go. Give him a chance. I can tell he's not a bad dude. Just let him go. Like we just dumped him in chemicals. He's probably gonna get superpowers. Let him go. If anything else, he'll come back. We'll fight, and I'll win. But it's fine. Just let him go. Let him be. And Bruce like begrudgingly agrees for it. There we go. How's that?
that's cute. I like it. It's
Yeah.
anytime we get the Goku redemption thing involved in DC, it's always a fun time.
Mhm. Let's hear. Streamer 255 says, "What if Bulma existed in the DC universe?" Oh God, that's a cool one too because she would fit right in. Um, the shit Bulma pulls. She is just like super smart
I think
and
Lex Luthor immediately falls in love.
that's a fun idea. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like Bulma like just I just like have this really cool idea for like a fan art now of like Mr. Terrific, Batman, and Bulma like all hunched over a computer screen trying to like figure out some kind of crazy problem, you know?
Hmm.
Oh, that'd be so cool. And like Bulma figures it out first. Ah, I love it. I love that idea. Um, that's a really cool one. That might end up being a thing. The only problem is anything that's like, what if this Dragon Ball character was in DC is going to have to wait until Dragon Ball DC reaches its conclusion, which is a ways off because we don't want to like bait people into thinking that we're bringing in more Dragon Ball characters into the series.
Hmm.
So that's something to keep in mind. Though I do really like that one. That's a fun idea. Um, Jason Gamble says, I actually like the idea that Injustice kind of brought on Harley Quinn turning into a good guy. Just, I don't know, I like the idea. Harley Quinn being reformed is something I think is totally plausible and interesting. I think it works better for Ivy than it does for Harley, but I don't mind the idea of her reforming because she initially wanted to be a great, on the side of the angels, as it were, and helping criminals and stuff. And I think that could be really interesting to play with her in the superhero community. Um, that being said, I'm gonna just say go read Harleen because it's really good and deals with her fall. And I'm hoping that CJ continues it for another 2 volumes. Is I think what he has planned, and there might be some kind of redemption in that I'm really hoping to see.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Fantastic.
What if the Saiyans had an appetite for flesh? Haram Boy 69.
I mean, they kind of do.
Yeah,
The first thing
first
we
time we
see
see
Vegeta.
Vegeta, he's fucking eating a dude.
So there is that. I feel like they do. Honestly, I feel like they do. Given how many planets they go to and how many worlds they conquer, I would not be surprised if the Saiyans feeded off the Tuffles sometimes. It's just that Goku was raised. I mean, Goku bites his opponents a lot, guys.
Does. And like he even cooks some of the monsters he kills in early Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things that if Kakarot was on Earth and was never bumped his head and went to a great ape, he'd probably eat some people.
Yeah, shit, that's fucked. Um, all right, let's see here. Todd Howard says, "What if the Tuffles won the Saiyan Tuffle War?" I think that's interesting. I think I've seen some what ifs play with that. One of the suggestions I've heard is the Tuffles create Baby then to deal with Frieza, and I think that's kind of a cool idea because
Hmm.
Baby immediately outclasses Frieza. Um, I think you could do stuff with that. I don't know. The problem is I think other people have, and they've done probably the more interesting takes than. So we'd have to try to think of a new take, which isn't unconceivable, but it's just harder now, you know.
I very much agree with that.
Khalid Hamed says, "What if Hellboy in Harry Potter?" That's one that actually works. I don't know a ton about Hellboy, and I've only like read the books and seen the initial movies of Harry Potter. But that's one that actually works because both worlds deal with the idea of cryptic magic, the idea that they're magic societies, sure, but they're all like hidden from the world. So especially since a lot of Hellboy, if I'm not mistaken in remembering this, takes place over in America. I think that one actually dovetails into each other pretty nicely. It's just about finding a good story to tell it. But that the potential is definitely there, particularly with like Harry growing up to be an aura where he deals with like wizards that do evil magic and stuff. Yeah, you could definitely tell a story with that. I could see a Harry Potter team up.
Anything to make that world feel a little bit. Because one of my issues with Harry Potter is I don't think it's very good at world building,
Mhm.
because it's so enclosed and everything you get talked about, all the interesting stuff, only gets like a scene at best.
Yeah, shit like, oh, wizards over in Middle Eastern countries use carpets instead of brooms. I fucking love that. And that's it. That's all I have of
Uh-huh.
that.
So, I mean, I think that'd be a very good opportunity to just open up the scope of that world more.
Mhm. I mean, that's things like I love the world building we get in Harry Potter. That's the thing that attracts me to it. Otherwise, it is kind of just a basic story, which is fine because it's intended for younger audiences more than anything else. But there are things I definitely do enjoy, and so yeah, you could do a Hellboy Harry Potter story. Okay, let's see here. Smugstick says, I better have gotten a hi because I'm at work and I can't hear. Well, we did say hi. We do love you, Smug.
We love you, boy.
Um, yeah.
He's one of my favorite boys in the list of favorite boys. Go subscribe to his channel. Go check out his latest video about if Krellin killed Vegeta. It's great. Watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I liked it. Smug is awesome. I love Smug stuff. Always try to watch him when he posts. He did say I saw earlier. I'm kind of skipping down the stream a little bit, but Goku in Marvel Part 2 is coming out on Monday. He says so. That's exciting.
Very exciting because I helped with that one. So if you like my stuff and you like Smug stuff, then I mean, million subscribers. Here he comes. I'm saying.
So fucking dumb. You need to be stopped. Um, Jason Couple says, also, I think there's a bit of, never mind. Trenton Brown says, since Harley came out, either of you guys watching the Harley Quinn DC Universe show? Yes, I just watched the newest episode before I came up to talk to Alfie tonight. God, I love that show. It is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm super enjoying it, which is great because I was afraid it was gonna suck. The tone they were going for felt very much like the tone of a lot of the Amanda Conner Harley Quinn comics, and I don't particularly care for those most of the time. But something about going for the more adult focus, not trying to be very teen focused or something, I guess, just really made it work. Being very raunchy made that show really click.
I'm very much in agreement. I think it's fantastic. Their version of Clayface is now the best version of Clayface ever put to screen. That is how I will write Clayface from now and forever. I fucking adore their version of Clayface as our first Vienna. It's legitimately inspired. I also am a very big fan of their take of Damian Wayne's voice. Of just like Damian Wayne played straight but with an age appropriate voice is just mwah.
Oh. Smokestick says, when we streaming again? Side eyes.
I don't know. That's up to you, big boy. You just let me know and I'll drop my pants straight away and get over there. You're the one coming over to my streams. Why don't you just set up a time, set up a date, and we'll wow these fools once again. Maybe we'll be all three of us will go to a stream and then we'll really break the internet.
There we go. Trenton Brown says, it just dawned on me, what does Kakarot do for money in Dragon Ball DC?
He's a
He is a farmer.
farmer.
Yep, he is a farmer. He's living on Kent Farm. And luckily, because it's in the family, the house and land is already well paid for, and he lives a pretty simple life. He doesn't have many expenses, especially since he grows a lot of his own food. So really, he only has to deal with property taxes, and if he's ever in financial trouble, well, he's got rich friends. Which, yeah, I mean, that's just my advice to anyone with financial trouble. Just get rich friends.
I mean, there you go. But yeah, one of his primary sources of just, he always makes us every time he does his drop off, the first place he heads off is to Wayne Manor and brings fresh produce to Alfred, who pays him handsomely. That Goku doesn't realize because Goku's not very good at math. But Alfred, Alfred just pretends it's the usual rate, and everyone else is being cheap.
Oh, fucking goes to Wayne Manor. Alfred pays him like $5,000 for a bushel of apples, and then he takes another bushel over to like the farmer's market. And he makes like $10, and it doesn't click in his head that there's any difference here.
He's just like, well, they both money. I mean, he just gave me a bigger stack. I guess it's because it's just heavy. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go. My head's starting to hurt.
Oh, pretty much. And just from the number of times that like Goku shows up and like, stops a crime or whatever, he's like the one hero that doesn't say, "Oh no, I can't take a reward." People are like, "Here, I want you to have this for saving me." Like he stops a purse snatcher or something. He's like, "Here, I want you to have this for stopping that brutal guy." And like Batman or anyone else like, "No, no, I can't take that." But Goku's like, "Okay, thanks." And then he goes buys like fucking candy with it or some shit.
Bye. Yeah. Well, Goku, you just came for ice cream. Yeah, stop the rapist. And whoa.
Whoa! Oh man, Goku's like that kind of thing. Like if someone invites you into their home and stuff, and they're like, "Can I get you anything?" Like a glass of water. Goku's like, "I'm kind of craving pancakes." That's Goku right there.
He's just no filter, and that's why I love him. Because goddamn, maybe some of his honesty is actually a good thing in life. At least you know you stand with Goku.
Yeah, exactly. Going back to their like reincarnations of Frieza and Cell thing, Jason Campbell says, "Well, Kid Buu for the most part is just evil without reason. There's no intention. It's just instinct. Frieza does everything he does on purpose, so that's why Frieza is more evil." I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like the difference between a hurricane versus a dictator.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Hyper Dimension is a Dragon Ball game. Duh,
oh yeah, so I was right.
says
Yeah,
Swamp.
it is a Dragon Ball game.
I have no idea what it is at all. So that's cool. I'm not a big gamer.
Well, how can you rise up?
Hmm. Oh God, don't. Jason Campbell says I could just see Alfred just serving bats cold food, so he doesn't have to worry about him reheating them. I guess. I really like that scene in Dark Knight Rises where he gives him the soup and Bruce like starts eating it and then spits it out. He's like, "It's cold. It's meant to be cold."
He's just a kid still.
Yeah. Tevin Daniel says, "Will other Norse gods and goddesses make an appearance?"
You'll have to see which ones, but yeah, I'm planning to cover the Gambit with some maybe more obscure gods that don't get a lot of things that I think could fit well in Dragon Ball World. This series will not be going on as long as DBDC, but it's definitely got enough parts in it to cover a wide array of people before we run out of Norse mythology stuff. All of that story is planned out, and as you can tell by Sexy Odin here, we're going to be covering not just the present of the Asgardian world and all the 9 worlds, but how did they form, what did the cultures change, everything, as much as we can to make this live and breathe as much of a, so you can put it in your headcanon for Dragon Ball, which is what I like to strive for all of these videos. I like to make it so that if you wink a little bit and you play our game, you can imagine this as a story you've read that you can fit into the world, rather than like a what if that's like a thought experiment. Those are totally fine. Those are awesome. It's just how I like to differentiate my content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Like I watch a lot of other what ifs, and they go like, "See, at this point in the series, Goku's at this power." I'm like, "Ah, man, I was getting into the story, and now you're giving me like I feel like a textbook cutaway, and I don't love those as much." So it's really fun to get into like the deep narrative dive kind of stuff that we do here. Like no lie, I think I'm the biggest fan of this channel. I still go back and rewatch videos on the rig.
This is why, dude, man. Again, I'm telling you, you don't have to keep sucking me off on the stream. We're not here for this kind of shadow.
Mugstick says Marvel Goku is canonically sexier than DC Goku. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
Jean Grey, Lady Shiva. I'm sorry, we don't go for Cyclops' sloppy seconds.
Oh, harsh. The gauntlet is thrown.
World's greatest how many times has Lady Shiva died, Smug? That's all I'm gonna say on that sexiness ratio. GTFO.
Damn. Comparing waifus. That's how you got there. Okay. Um,
Oh boy.
Alrighty. Let's see here. Kind of some inter chat going on. What would the Z Fighters think of the Guardians of the Galaxy? Ooh, by Andre Partridge.
I mean, I feel like you want to go bit by bit. Gamora just fits in that mold immediately. She's another Piccolo Vegeta Tien type.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like Groot feels like they out of many superhero teams, they probably fit the most in the Dragon. I could see them just turning up.
Mm-hmm.
They're that wacky group that feels like is very at home in Dragon Ball. Rocket Raccoon and Oolong would have a game of strip poker.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Groot would just hang out and become befriended by Gohan. He'd like ask all these really scientific questions. The only one who really like Drax immediately tries to fight Goku, but then becomes like best friends because they're the only
Mm-hmm.
ones. You are the only one who talks any sense around here. I know, right? Everyone's going so crazy. It's just like they're the only ones who understand their own simplistic view of the world. Um, but then you
Mm-hmm.
get like the only one who really stands out is Peter, who's just you probably play him as the straight man, as he's the guy who's just like, what is this play? What? This is not Earth, huh? How can you eat so much? Like everyone else just kind of rolls with it, but like Peter's just the one
That
who
cat is talking.
he's the one who just freaks out at just like how different the Dragon Ball Earth is. He has like a Planet of the Apes moment when he sees a dog's president. You blew it up.
Oh man. Oh, you talking about that weird statue of that lady in the ground?
Yeah, that
What?
Vegeta pissed on it. Fuck you, Liberty.
Oh, Alfie's Vegeta and Goku voices crack me up. They're the best. We need to just get rid of Trevor, get rid of Double Kick Sanji. You're just gonna voice DBDC Goku and Vegeta from now on.
I mean, if I didn't have them to help me along, that's exactly what I would have been forced to do. And we would not be having a stream of people in it right now, I'll tell you that for starters.
Oh. Alrighty, alrighty. Go ahead and move along. Godzilla OOX. Goku, but Lois Luthor said if I give him a jar of your bathwater, he'll let me fight the strongest fighter in the universe. Don't be selfish. Okay.
Damn.
Oh. Late night TV. Okay. How would Goku react to the Olympian gods by Andre Partridge again? Andre got some interesting questions. I don't know. The Olympian gods are kind of more skeevy than the Norse gods. I feel so they might. I don't know. There might be a very Toriyama-esque take to do with the Olympian gods. Like they're just it's like 17 Roshis. Um,
So I feel like they wouldn't have as how I know North DB kind of escalated to where Goku's currently like passed out and Beerus is just standing over him when Thor's about to kill him. But initially, Thor got on quite well with Goku, and Odin saw like merit in Goku. Like he says he's a strapping lad who fit well here. I feel like Zeus and Co would see Goku as the threat he is immediately,
hmm,
and maybe try and take him out, like without trying to like placate them.
gotcha. Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it.
He'd have
I don't know.
more of like a Zamasu type vibe than Odin, who leans more towards like a Beerus, where he's kinda you don't know where you stand with him, but he's mostly kept to himself all these years. But then you get to Zeus, who I would imagine would have been deliberately altering events for his like
Hmm.
plans and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Um,
Help me out a little bit here. So you know his little bottom straps here.
what are you talking about? His bottom straps? Can you
So
zoom in on it?
between his pants and his boots.
Oh, okay.
What color? Did they look alright, or should there be a different color like that?
They kind of got like a grayish blue tint to them. This might sound weird, but it might be worth a try. Can you make it match his belt?
Yeah, I'll give that a shot.
Just to kind of pull things together. Either that, or maybe I'd match him with something in the midsection. So either the belt or maybe that pink fur. um, to play with that a little bit, but I'm not sure. They are also socks, so maybe just go white. I don't know.
How's that looking, chat? It's a little bit behind.
Yeah, yeah. Let us know. I'll scroll forward in the chat and look at it when you guys say. Um, Alrighty. Oh no, you did the like thing. I was talking about the belt itself, that like dark red. Um,
Oh yeah, you're
that's
still
holding
behind
the.
then.
Oh, okay. My bad. My bad. Um, Godzilla OX. Whose cooking does Goku like better, Ma Kent or Alfred? Easily Ma Kent.
Yeah, nothing like Mum's cooking.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Um,
why I think one of the saddest things in all of Dragon Ball history that Toriyama doesn't get enough credit for how you want to talk about the original Bardock special being tragic. He made Goku's mom a cook. Are you kidding me? He'll never get to try that. Like that is the saddest thing. I tear up just thinking about that. It is just like Goku will never get a meal from his mom, who could have been the one who probably would have made him even better. Chi-Chi's quite similar to Gine, so I like to
mm,
think there's something there. But I don't know, man. There's something special about like a home cooked meal from your parent, and I feel like Goku
mhm.
particularly would have a. He always feels like he appreciates the thought behind things quite a bit
Mhm.
more than people think he does.
I could definitely agree with that. Tevin Daniel says he likes purple color for the socks. So thank you for the color input, sir.
Thank you, thank you. It always helps because I am colorblind, and so therefore, when the artists send me line art, and I'm like, okay, thanks. I always get very self-conscious, like I don't want to. Your art's so beautiful. I don't want to mess it up.
Khalid Hammond Hamed says Raditz rolling with the Guardians of the Galaxy. That could be a fun thing. Give Raditz something to do.
You are
Uh,
my minions.
what if Saiyans were in the Inspector Gadget universe
Okay.
by Haram Boy 69? Um,
He's showing some crazy ones.
yeah, I guess like they're just gonna think that Gadget's like a cheat, you know? They break him in like a second.
I mean, they can't
Gadget's
sense
power
his
doesn't scale
energy.
for shit.
What? Are you kidding me? You go gadget key absorption.
I guess he does have toon power if you
Like
think
that's
about
what
it that
I'm
way.
going for. I'm thinking the Saiyans need to watch out. You thought the androids were bad? You never thought he's got like 60s Batman level prep time. And he's got
That's true.
Penny, who's like that universe's Bulma in terms of intelligence. Like, I don't know, man. I think Inspector Gadget could take out Vegeta.
Jorge Felix Gargelos Lopez, I think I got that right. The Major Helsing in Sailor Moon. Haven't watched either of those.
I mean, that's a very weird. You want to put a Nazi vampire dedicated to causing wars so we can have a noble death in Sailor Moon? I mean, I dig it, but I mean, I feel like that's a total clash, the likes of which we've never seen.
Uh, let's see here. Well, what are some good colors from Norse? That's they're talking about. We're behind. Odin got that Raditz hair, says Tevin Daniels.
Yeah, he's he's got it like in a ponytail as well. Like I guess it's similar, because Malik also designed R&R Raditz, so he tends to like the long hair slipped back in a ponytail, which I think is a great look for Dragon Ball.
Mhm.
I like as well how he's done the hair here, where it's long, but it's not a Saiyan's hair. It's much closer to how Roshi's is in the spikes, where it's
Mhm.
not like exaggerated spikes. It's much more like a subdued texture.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I really do like the designs that Malik's done for it. It's so cool to see them. They all come together so well.
Hmm.
Um, Alrighty, let's see here. Bottle Rocket Boris. So, is there going to be an arc where a high tier DC villain unlocks key control?
Well, we already established prior in the stream how we feel about like martial artists doing it. But because we've introduced it into the world, it's already my concept of key isn't coming with Goku. It's just Goku's landed in DC, and DC already has that in terms of Keen and Kong. So it's not like it's something DC villains can't get in like mainline. Um, I'll just leave that as a maybe because I don't want to. I don't want to just make this turning DC into Dragon Ball. I want to make this. What if you throw the Dragon Ball characters into DC? How does that? How does it react to them? Maybe I'll say, but currently I'm more interested just in exploring the vast amount of stuff that's already native to DC.
Like that's part of the fun of it, and that's kind of like why people are like, "Oh, Amazo's going to be the Cell Saga." And we're like, "Well, we started with the Saiyan Saga, and that was very one to one in a lot of ways, with pretty significant changes, though." And the Entity Saga has a lot of elements that are similar to the Namek Saga, but we've talked about this a lot. After that, we're not mirroring Dragon Ball anymore as far as the arcs. We are going fully original stories, and the purpose of that is the fun of, okay, now we've got these characters established in ways that we think are very close to development they had in mainline stories, and that's stuff they needed to have the proper dynamics. So going forward, we've got the characters where we need them to be to really have them in DC, I think. Trenton Brown just donated $5.
Yay,
Thank you so much. Let's just say a Crisis-esque event happened and Naruto post-war arc ended up in the DC universe. What would you think he'd do?
Well, immediately his first default is he makes friends. Naruto's whole thing is he's kind of got such a magnetic personality, even for like an anime protagonist where they always kind of make friends. Is Naruto is like the Superman of that world, where he can talk down like people who have dedicated their lives to a mission and just make them find hope again. So I immediately think he tries to find anyone he can to help him get back, and if that isn't looking like a possibility, he just thinks about, okay, how can I achieve what I want to here, which is bring peace and it'd be very curious because Naruto's whole goal is to become Hokage, which is basically a political figure in his verse. So, like, does he run for president? Like, how does that work? Like, what does he do?
Naruto. What if Naruto met Prez? You remember Prez? Have you ever read Prez?
No.
I've only read a little bit of it about it, but it's if like a teenager became president. Is the whole premise,
I mean, that's
and
the
it's in
show
DC.
Right. So maybe. But no, I think he'd be interesting just from a power set standpoint. I think he's in a good spot because he's on that level of he's strong when you get him at near the end of the series, where he could probably like blow up a country if he like put all his power into something, or later on he can get to like doing what Piccolo does with like a moon. But they're still in that level of power where they're not going to be like top tier Justice League, but they're for sure above street level. So he'd probably be on like Justice League International, helping out people, and his main gimmick of just being able to do like shadow clones would be fantastic because he could just patrol an entire city by himself. He can
That's a cool point.
He can just duplicate himself hundreds of thousands of times with these like country level beings that just, yeah, there's Gotham solved. So I mean, he'd be fun. He'd be a fun one. But the problem with any Naruto crossover is that his world is so not specific to any time period. It's its own kind of fantasy world. A lot of what you want to bring over in how he works fits better if you just put someone else in his world rather than putting him in someone else's, because like Chakra and like the Tail Beasts and all of that, so lore intensive. I feel like it's almost a disservice to put him in someone else's.
That's an interesting point. Naruto's one of those ones I just never watched, so I think we're just going to move on. But cool question. Maddox Sheffield says, "What if Saiyans were in Star Wars?" Go check out Smug's video on that. That is a premise in our first live stream that we were like, I don't know if we really have anything for that. They're just too powerful. But I think Smug did a really, really cool story playing with the idea and centering it around the Clone Wars era, which was really, really cool.
So, yep, there it is. If you want to see how we do it, he did it better.
Nick Yuo is talking about how he doesn't like Raditz' hair because it's a disadvantage in a fight. Sure.
I
Okay.
mean, I disagree. Just because when you're that strong and you're that fast, anyone who's on your level anyway isn't gonna be able to like yank his hair to any advantage. Because I mean, like it's the same thing. Like Superman doesn't have to worry about his cape. It's impractical. Like it's fine.
Hmm.
It just looks dope.
Yeah. I mean, like, to be fair, I knew a girl in high school who had like super long hair, and her thing was, no, listen, you can pull on this as hard as you want, and I don't feel anything. I'm just so used to it being naturally long. So it's not really a disadvantage in the way that people think it is. Um, after I said that sentence, I realized how much it sounded like a sexual humble brag, and I did not mean for it to.
Ah, I mean your hair's pretty long.
Oh my, that was funny. No, but like actually to your point, I'm doing that right now. I'm like pulling as hard as I can on the roots of my hair, and it doesn't hurt. At a certain point your hair just gets long and it doesn't really bother you. So I mean, yeah, like Frieza's got a tail and it's not, I mean, besides Goku biting it, it's not a huge um hindrance to him. So I think it's fine.
Mhm.
Okay. What if Goku landed in Marvel? Go check out Smug's video. I guess
Yeah,
we're just promoting Smug at this point.
yeah, nah,
Um,
right. He needs to, when's his solo streams just gonna be promoting our videos, huh?
yeah, funny how crazy how Smug doesn't do streams promoting our videos, huh? um, the same people that did a comic also did a video called "The Entire Story of Ben 10 Illustrated," basically a plot synopsis of the entire series. It's nice, cool.
I always
People
stay
go.
away from videos like that. Honestly, I like again. I feel like you just might as well just watch the series because even if you get a plot synopsis, like okay, you're not experiencing the story and like there's going to be a lot of context missed.
Hmm.
So I always just feel like if you're gonna research something, either don't do it or just read the stuff. Read the damn manga. It's why like it's one of those things, right? It's just like if you truly want to talk about something or write a story, take the time and go to the source because it's the only way you'll get to the spirit of the thing. Otherwise, you just kind of like I don't know. I see some YouTubers, none of the ones in our community, but like ones which are like very big. They'll talk about something that you can tell they've just read like a Wikipedia article on it.
Yeah, like a lot of the explained videos, and I'm like, man, just go read the damn story.
It's
Like
just like trying to watch someone do a
that's the one that
comics
kind of drove me
explained
crazy.
on Final Crisis. Hurt
Uh,
me.
yeah, like there's the one that started to actively annoy me was when like explanation videos were coming out for comic books that released that week. Because I was reviewing them on my channel, and then I'd see like in my feed, I'd see like, Darth Vader, like first quest for a lightsaber explained, and I'm like, the comic's in store shelves right now. Just tell people to go read it. That's all. It's annoying at that point. I don't want to sound gatekeepy or whatever. I understand that not everyone has access to them at the same time, but like comicsology is a thing. It's just annoying. It feels like you're just basically stealing the story from the writer and the artist.
I definitely
Um,
feel that.
okay, Goten could join the Teen Titans.
I
I
mean,
guess.
Goten has to exist first. I mean, Gohan has
Right?
to exist first, right? Goku's barely, at best, been implied to have a sexual encounter with Lady Shiva. That was probably the first time because he just asked Hal about it. So, I mean, is that gonna bring anything? I don't know, but it sure as hell isn't gonna lead to Teen Titans anytime soon.
Toddler Titans. That's gotta have been a thing, right?
I mean, there's
That's
been, I'm sure, it's probably been like a de-aged version of the Teen Titans, though.
um. We need the episode of Super where Goten babysits Pan on his own. See, like that was the thing. I hear a lot of people complain about Super, and it literally drives me crazy because I love their slice of life episodes, and that would be Trunks and Goten babysitting Pan would be a fantastic slice of life episode.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm still kind of legit mad that the Tournament of Power set up Goten, Trunks, and Marin on 17's Island, and we didn't get a filler episode of that. That would have been great.
This
Just
is this,
right in the middle. Like
this is
Goku unlocks Ultra Instinct for the first time, and then we just cut away for a whole episode. The fan base would rage, and I would
uh-huh.
laugh.
Yeah, I mean, especially from the implication of the credits on that, where Goku and Trunks are banged up, but Marin hasn't got a scratch on her. I'm just like, what's if it turns out that Krillin and 18's daughter is like super prodigy?
That'd be hilarious. Oh my god, I love that idea. Oh, there's the what if. Let's see here. It's true. No, don't change the colors. Zakramal didn't like the color change on something. I can't. I don't know if it's the belt or the
Well,
socks.
given when he said it, I'm assuming it would be the socks, and he's the king on this, so I might just listen to him.
Okay, we'll see. Adam, if you want to clarify at some point, we might go back and change something.
Hmm.
Um, a part of me headcanons that Bulma just overreacted and assumed Yamcha cheated on her after reading DB manga before Z. I could totally buy it, but then again, by Z, Bulma did sort of mellow out, so I don't know. Um, I don't know. I personally like the headcanon that Yamcha and Tien got together.
Uh-huh, because it's the only thing that explains the plot hole of Yamcha being the one who cheated, but he's also got a crippling fear of women that persists even in Super. So,
Mhm.
so the answer there is to cheated with a guy. And Tien's right there. So why not? It gives Yamcha a win. It means he's not gonna die alone, which makes me
Mm.
like he deserves that much. He's a good guy.
Zakramal says BRB questioning my artistic vision. So maybe he liked the change
Oh
made.
well, okay. You're making me question my existence right now, buddy. I'm gonna have to go over there and give you a smacky smacky bottom in a minute if you don't calm down.
Smacky, smacky bottom.
You back chat me either, okay? I've got the power here. I am the geek for fun.
I control the stream. All right. What if Krillin married Chi Chi? Says Nick Judo.
Oh, Krillin
Um,
wishes.
yeah.
Until at 18, he's like, when Goku gets married and Krillin's just like dying over Chi Chi because he's like, oh my god, she's so hot. Maybe I have a chance with her. She just fucking proposes to Goku, and you just see his soul kind of get crushed a little bit. It's like it's 10 minutes. It's just like ridiculous. He didn't even get a chance to crush on her. I don't know. I feel like Krillin and Chi Chi would not be a good combination because I feel like Krillin is too scared of her in a way that Goku acts like it, but at the end of the day, he's just like, yeah, okay, Chi Chi, like he's fine with it. Krillin, I feel like would get emotionally hurt sometimes. So I think Krillin tries his best, but Chi Chi eventually just walks out on him because he's just too much of a pushover.
Mm-hmm. I can
Whereas
see that.
18 needs that in her life. 18 spent her entire life having her control taken from her. So having someone who just asks her how she feels is probably the most important thing in the world to her. That's why I really love the whole dynamic on just how hard she crushes for Krillin is just so cute and endearing for me. Is because you've taken a regular human girl and she just sees Krillin and he's spent his whole life as a badass martial artist who became a monk and then has all these superpowers. Like, yeah, it's fucking cool. Because she's not in that world, so she sees Krillin and she can fully appreciate for him for the badass that he is. Because she wasn't raised among Goku and Co and just it became normal. So
I love that moment in Super where he blasts off after she shaves his head and she's just like, oh, he's so cool.
it's just so endearing.
Yeah. Um, let's see here. What if Star Warriors, Kirby's race from the video game, were in Dragon Ball? Please keep in mind that Kirby is a baby and can crack planets, tank planet-sized explosions, and deflect world-threatening asteroids light years away. I think Kirby would fit very well in it, just with Toriyama's like very comedic style. Because just God, that could be so funny. Just Kirby shows up and Vegeta's like, "Oh, I'll take care of this," and he just gets like immediately gets his ass kicked. It'd be like the REL episode of Super all over again.
Yeah, I think Kirby fits very well. You can easily just make him his dude's cousin.
Yeah, exactly. This is from Boo's race, who were Bobbity transformed one of them with his magic. There you go.
Well, I mean,
There's
Toriyama's already said that Babidi didn't create Boo.
oh really?
Yeah, Boo just existed since the dawn of the universe, and Babidi
Oh,
awakened him.
interesting. So Boo is the spirit of chaos. Interesting.
So there is
Oh.
there is there is a something like, well, maybe there's more out there, or that's Kabi, or maybe he was like the prototype God of Destruction, or
Mm.
something like that. Like I think since we're getting Oob, I I hope, because Toriyama just says shit and it never gets paid off. Yeah, Yamoshi. But like that's one I hope, especially if you get doing an Oob arc. If like Beerus just like mentions it in passing, it's just like, well, I didn't think the original God of Destruction would ever get reincarnated, and Goku and Uber just like, what?
That could be cool. Or you could like say it's existed since the dawn of time and be like it's the Omni King's little brother or some shit like that. That could be fun. Especially since Fat Boo isn't in the Tournament of Power. It never has met the Omni King yet. That could play really well. What if Saiyans were in Halo by Mannix Sheffield? I've never played a Halo game. I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna go to my standard. They're too powerful for the Halo universe, though.
Yeah, I feel you there. I feel that the main thing the Halo universe has is A, the space travel, B, the idea that the other alien races have like plagues and parasites that can take over and corrupt the planets. That's a very baby idea, and we see how effective that is against Saiyans. So I feel
Mhm.
like they'd be fine. Humanity in the Halo universe is fucked, because humanity in the Halo universe, their response to that is to build elite super warriors who are like Iron Man light. They're not touching a single Saiyan. So it's just like, oh wow, you call them the Spartans, and then just the Saiyan race low class just walks all over them, and then you just get the Saiyans versus like the Covenant and the Flood, which I think the Saiyans probably lose that fight, just because I don't think they're technologically advanced enough to counter those kind of like parasitic alien invaders.
Okay, I think that's a really interesting way to look at it. Yeah, Saiyans in Galactic War sounds kind of interesting because one on one they could pretty much stomp anyone, but they don't have the same technological capabilities unless they're able to stomp someone early enough in game to take their technology. Because they seem really good at adapting to using it, if nothing else. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of impressive when you think about it. They can't make anything on their own technologically, but they can figure out how to, like, they just sit in a spaceship and look at it long enough and figure out how to make it work. That's kind of cool. Uh, Krillin wouldn't have made it to Z if that were the case. I'm assuming we're talking about marrying Chi Chi, maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what that sounds like. I don't think
let's
Chi-Chi
see
would
here.
kill him, maybe. I don't know, depends what mood she's in.
Jason Campbell, in reference to the Fun Sexy Dragon Ball, says, I mean, it could be safe for work or not safe for work. She can do both. I mostly was referring to the safe for work stuff, but I wouldn't be opposed to the other side. I mean, yeah, neither would we. Let's just. I don't want to pester her or anything. We've added her a couple times and she hasn't really responded, so we don't want to like feel like we're trying to pester her into it, but we do like her art, and so it would be freaking awesome to see some stuff done with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine.
That's entirely up to her.
Let's just focus on us doing a good thing and focus on her doing cool stuff, and then maybe we'll meet up down the line somewhere.
Good answer.
Yeah. Tripman says, so what you're saying is Kakarot fucks? He just lost his virginity at the beginning of the Saiyan saga.
Yes.
So there you go. There's your canon. Um, let's see here. Goku X Zamasu. Change my mind as
I
the
mean,
ship.
that's Goku Black X, Zamasu, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We've talked about that Cap'n plenty. Um, GT should be canon timeline separate from Super, says Nick Judo.
They should just
Yeah, I
adapt
mean,
it. They should just remake it in Super.
yeah, I kind of lean to it is. I think that superheroes which I'm going to always call it because they're fools for not using that marketing opportunity.
Hmm.
I think Dragon Ball Super Heroes is just established that at this point that GT Goku just eventually joined the Time Patrol, and which I hate the name Time Patrol, by the way, but I think that's just what it's become at this point. And so if Heroes so far seems I guess it can't possibly be canon given how often Ultra Instinct shows up, but at the same time, Heroes seems to not fully contradict canon left and right yet, so
I mean, I'm
who
still
knows?
waiting for the time they're gonna have Broly fight Broly.
Yeah, you need that in your life, don't you?
I mean, I don't, but I only if New Broly just fucking shit stops him.
Mm. Oh, Curious Low showed up. Hi, Low.
Hey!
Lo is a good friend from the Twitterverse and such, and she's joined the crew as one of our voice actors. She's really interested in getting into voice acting and stuff, so it's fun to bring her on. Hi, Lo. Thanks for stopping by.
Very happy to have you here.
Let's see here. Primal, are the Guardians of the Universe worried of learning that a Saiyan is around on Earth? Um, so they figured out we've talked about this. It doesn't necessarily, it's one of those things like we've talked about it is as something that's had to have happened, but we don't really have any reason to put it in story as of yet. So this is one of those things supplemental where we don't mind talking about it. The Guardians learned of Goku, but he'd kind of already grown up and wasn't evil, and so they again felt very awkward that they tried to have him killed, and Abin was already dead, so no one's talking about it. It's just this very like awkward relationship. Anytime Hal Jordan like brings up my friend Goku saved my life today. Oh, that's cool.
Is he, how aggressive was he? Oh, he was pretty chill. Oh, really? Okay. Why'd you ask? Oh, just checking up on it. Don't mention they
Yeah.
killed the baby. But yeah, that's one of those
Did
things
you
where it's
kill
just,
the baby?
did you kill the baby? It's one of my favorite moments from that episode. So yeah, that there's one of those things that the Guardians have made their life in the DC universe having dark secrets. This is just one of many.
Like they've actually forgotten. Like at one point, Ganthet let it slip. Oh God, I'm glad we didn't succeed in having him killed.
Wait, we had him
What?
killed? Oh yeah! Oh man,
Oh, right.
that would have been
That's one of those deep dark
awkward.
secret thingies. Oops.
We keep
Um,
doing those.
that's the thing that like Ganthet's always portrayed as like the nice guardian, but he's the one that's just like losing his memory in his old age, and he's like, just letting all the dark secrets out, so everyone thinks he's a good guy for doing it.
But really, he used to be the one doing it. He's just everyone else just think he's a hypocrite. Like all the Guardian just like fucking Ganthet, man, fucking snake.
Andre Partridge says, "Do you think that Broly and Chilai would like living in the DC or Marvel universe better?"
I think any place other than Vampa's pretty great.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I feel like Sheila would be interesting because there's certainly a lot of fun for her there, but there's also more people who are more competent at arresting criminals. I think she quite appreciate that she can run circles around the Galactic Patrol. Um, so she's got that Catwoman type of vibe. So I don't know. I think Sheila might be happy where she is. Broly, I think Broly's interesting. I think Broly would just have. We see how he ended up in the DC universe. I won't say much more on that, just out of fear of future stuff. But in Marvel, particularly, I think Broly would have a very bad time, simply because he'd be viewed as a weapon almost instantly. Like he is a walking nuke of a scale
Mhm.
no one has ever seen before. Like even Goku is like, ah, Goku can build himself up, but Broly is from joint jump point. If anyone could figure out how his DNA works and why he gets so strong so fast, it's game over. So yeah, Broly would not have a fun time in a world with super geniuses.
I think that's a fair point. Aiden Hansen says at someone else, so never mind. what if Saiyans had Majin abilities like turning people into candy, regeneration, and absorption?
Well, I just want to make them
Um,
even more busted.
yeah, like that's the thing is like those abilities had to be developed. Thank you for the question, by the way, AJ. Those developed abilities had to be developed to counter how busted Saiyans were becoming. So I feel like it's just unfair. If they did have it, I could see the candy beam and regeneration could actually be interesting because then you might get like that just busts the Zenkai like crazy. Um, Absorption, I don't think they'd use because of the whole pride thing. So I'd give them the candy ability. I think the candy ability could be fun for a Saiyan to have. Like, oh my god, I'm just imagining like a really fat Saiyan that does the candy beam.
Like that guy on Bardock's team.
Yeah, exactly. That's just his thing. And that kind of goes back to do Saiyans eat people?
Yeah, that could be fun. It's just one of those things as well. I think the last thing you need to give Saiyans is more power.
Yeah.
But
Let's see here. Primal Mythos is asking, have you watched the new Deathstroke Knights and Dragons animated series episode? Is
no.
there's a Deathstroke animated series?
Yes, it's on the same DC Universe streaming app.
I've literally not seen them advertise this at all.
Yeah.
This app is so garbage at promoting itself. I am, my God. I'm like a big proponent of this app, and I tell people, oh, yeah, you should go check it out. I didn't even know there was a Deathstroke series. That's hilarious. I'm gonna have to watch at least an episode of that, even though I'm not a huge fan of Deathstroke.
Shiva's in it.
Um, Shiva? Oh, cool. Yeah, now I'm definitely gonna watch it. Uh, um, Speaking of which, did you read the latest issue of Batman?
No.
Okay, so like you get all the fucking all the best contract killers show up in Gotham at the same time, and like a woman walks into a bar and kills the doorman on the way in. She's like, "You should be grateful. People pay a lot of money to get killed by me." And then I'm like, "Oh shit, it's Shiva, it's Shiva!" And it's like, "Hey, Cheshire." I'm like, "Oh god damn it." Um,
I mean, at that point, I'm just like, um, I think Tinian uh, has a good voice from we saw her last time. So I don't know. We'll see. Especially if he says he's gonna do more stuff with Cass.
I mean, that's fair. I thought it was funny. I was really hoping it was Shiva, and it just turned out to be Cheshire. I'm like, ah, god damn
Budget
it.
Shiva, bootleg Shiva.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I don't want Batman just taking Shiva out right away, so that's fair. Tevin Daniels says, "What if Launch wasn't forgotten?"
No, she wasn't. She just didn't have a role in the story anymore. I feel like if you,
No,
well,
go ahead.
yeah, I mean, Toriyama says he forgot her, but like, I mean, he probably has by now. But when he was writing, I think it was a very deliberate because she just like doesn't turn up because she's just like not needed at that point anymore. She was already wearing a bit thin as a gag because they
Hmm.
just didn't really know much to do with her outside of her initial appearance. So the first chance he got to ditch her, I think probably did like she would have just been rather than this cool character we talk about in Dragon Ball, who like fans like Masako have managed to find really cool ways of bringing her character to the forefront with like Raditz or Tien or such like that. We would have just had another Oolong situation where she's just there and kind of ruins the fun of her. So
Hmm.
I think Launch taking a break as this fun character you can remember when she does show up again was for the best.
Hmm. Um, just skip ahead in the chat a little bit. Joestro says, "Did you draw that beefed up Odin?" No,
No,
this was. Go ahead.
this was by Malik DBNA, who you can go find his link in the description below. Go to his Twitter. He did the art, and I'm doing the coloring. He also did our 4 art, our other Odin art, and our Loki art. He's fantastic, and just, yeah, check out his own fan manga. It's great.
Yeah, totally. It's really cool to be working with all these super talented people. Mythology guess says, "Damn, Odin looks badass." Cool. Not just a Manson. What if future? Wait, in the future, if Vegeta die in front of Wonder Woman, will she cry?
I
Um,
think, no, she's just cold hearted.
no, I mean, like, I think Wonder Woman would cry if anyone dies in front of her, at least a little bit. she'll shed a tear for just about anyone. That's the thing. The compassion of Wonder Woman's like really, really important to me as a character, and I feel a lot of people miss out on. They just kind of turn her into generic Xena, and I hate it. I really, really love how compassionate Wonder Woman is. It's one of the most important parts of her character that people completely overlook.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the short answer: Wonder Woman would shed a tear for anyone if they fell in front of her. She loves everyone.
Yeah, Wonder Woman would cry if she killed Vegeta. So I'll put it that way. Luis Mosquito says, "Do you guys think influence from other characters in DC would make Goku and Vegeta better fathers?" That's an interesting question. But like the thing about that is there aren't many dads in DC. Like as far as like mainline characters that have extended families and we actually get to spend time with that kind of gets brushed over or swept under the rug a lot.
I think the
Um,
closest example you have nowadays is I think Alfred is a very good influence, and I also think we can't do it. But if you're just talking about general DC universe, then I think Superman would be very very helpful, um, in terms of just helping anyone be a better father. So
mhm.
there are those examples, but at the same time, I feel like if you just to answer the question more properly, let's just imagine we take Goku, Vegeta, and their family directly from Z, and plop, or maybe Super in Vegeta's case, so it's a little better. You just plop them in DC. Um, I think they're okay. Vegeta particularly is not that. Vegeta's fine. Mostly, he's about as good a dad as Batman is, honestly.
Mm,
So Goku as well. I think by that point, Gohan's old enough to handle himself. Goten and Goku, we don't get a lot of time with, but they seem pretty happy with each other. So I don't think anyone's going to really have any comments on them unless you got
mm.
like Vegeta from an earlier stage where he's like not as when he's fucking punching Future Trunks. Like I think then someone would call him out. But like DC is not going to be the place where they call out Goku for being a dad because they fucking get it. Not being able to spend time with children because you're a superhero.
Mhm.
Like that's kind of like a lot of people's dilemma in any superhero comic when they're a parent. So I feel like Goku particularly would be fine. He wouldn't really get called out. Early Vegeta would definitely be. Adult Vegeta, I think a lot of people would just be proud of him to see how far he's come.
Mhm. No, I think you answered that perfectly. Okay. Not just a Manson says, "Will Vegeta ever find love?" I'm assuming he's talking about Dragon Ball DC. It's one of those things we just have to see. We've talked about maybe this character with this character, but that's one of those things we just have to stick around and watch future videos for. We're not going to answer that in a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Tevin Daniel says Vanner, Essian War, Thor's journey in Jotunheim, and other wacky Norse tales upcoming? Question mark.
Well, you've heard of some prior adventures Goku 4 has had with other stuff. And if we're going to be visiting places, there might be a few references, some tall tales from lore's past. So keep your ear out, you eagle-eyed mythology viewers. You might recognize something.
Okay. Moo says, who would win in a fight, Dragon Ball Superman or DC Goku? Right now, at this moment.
Well, he got up to the Cell Saga, right?
Yep.
Probably Dragon Ball Superman then.
Yeah, you think so?
Well, our
Um,
Goku's not even a Super Saiyan yet.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, he
He's
probably
he,
doesn't have that trump card that he needs.
he's got the high base, but his base is around like the android level, and Dragon
Hmm.
Ball Superman was like fighting perfect Cell Brainiac. So yeah, Dragon Ball Superman takes it. That's the only victory Smug's getting though. Don't tell. Hopefully he's not here.
Luis Mosquito asks, how powerful could Spider-Man be if he was trained in Ki, assuming he'd commit to it fully? He does not have the mental patience to master something like that. There's no way you can convince me Peter Parker has had any significant martial arts training.
Well, he has.
I mean, like, it's that same thing. Like, Superman's had Kryptonian martial arts training too, and I'm just like, no, that's just it doesn't fit the character. I actively choose to ignore that.
The one thing I'll say on that is that he probably wouldn't stick to it, but if he did, fucking Peter Parker gets Ultra Instinct in like 0 seconds flat, because that's his entire fighting style. His Spider Sense guide me. So, I mean, that's kind of a cheat to get it. So, if he ever got strong enough, he wouldn't put in the time because he's got that Gohan thing where just like getting sweaty and training is just like, ugh, it's not what he's there to do. And like, Dragon Ball characters would just remind him of jocks. So, he's just not here for this life. But if he did, his physical body with the spider sense has got probably one of the best potentials out of any normal human you could get, just because of that instant like danger sense that you just turn your brain off and just move. That's perfect for Dragon Ball strength.
That's a good point. I didn't think of it that way. So I don't know. Is there a spider powered character that would actually train?
Maybe someone like Kane.
Hmm. Okay.
He's kind of got like a Vegeta vibe, but then again, he's also a clone, and you can make the argument that they don't have the purity of like spirit or like the natural ki flows because he's also like a fail clone. So there could be stuff with that you could get into. But yeah, just Peter Parker as a person, no. The idea of someone with that power set, yes, they could actually be very strong.
Interesting. Okay. Trenton Brown says now I want fan art of Drax and Goku at a bar. That'd be fun.
That would be very fun.
Let's see here. Andre Partridge again. Do you think that the Z Fighters would get along with the Avengers?
No,
Really? Why not?
because the Avengers are kind of full of themselves. And in fact, if anyone knows the problems of Marvel superheroes meeting people for the first time, it's when they start a fight, and the Avengers trying to fight the Z Fighters is like Captain Marvel and Thor aside, it's a joke. that is a gag trying to say that Iron Man versus fucking the principal Saiyans and Super by now, like Jesus. Like, so I feel like that would not go down well because Marvel heroes can be assholes and don't have the patience that say the Justice League would to like understand the like Tony Stark or Cap would just very much see Goku and Vegeta as just selfish assholes and wouldn't understand, especially Goku wouldn't understand the deeper the spirit of like trying to fight. Someone like Thor would have a good time with them, but they also immediately try to fight Thor. So I mean, and then Thor was just lucky that they got talked down. Whereas like Vegeta, you just throw a punch at him. If you can't fight back, you're done. I'm sorry. He's going to go for the kill. So yeah, that would be a very disastrous battle. That would be like an arc. That would be a battle of just. It would cause a chain of events where they'd all have to fight, and hopefully Gohan or someone could calm them down. But yeah, Marvel is more prone to violence initially, and if you do that with Dragon Ball,
These fools want to fight.
yeah, legitimately, is like Tony Stark would just be like, to think the head of Capsule Corp's way too attractive to hand out with this dwarf, and then Vegeta would just fucking lose his shit.
Oh man, alrighty. Let's see here. How would or what if Goku was in Justice League Unlimited? Will he act the same or different? Despite not just Manson. I guess if he's replacing Superman, he's just kind of a jerk.
I love you, man.
Alfie's not much of a fan of Tim versus Superman. I don't know. I guess he'd be a little different because things would be a little more streamlined. But at the same time, he would have gotten his own animated series there, which would be cool.
He just gotten Dragon Ball. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I feel like Goku in that universe, if you keep his power set, he immediately becomes a bigger deal than he is in DC. Our version, he's like top tier Justice League, but not like be all end all. If you just take Goku and put him in the DCAU, then yeah, he's be all end all. Because even Superman is struggling to like throw cars in that series. So like that's your power ceiling when Darkseid is getting hurt when he's thrown through a building. So Goku immediately kind of breaks that universe, even like Saiyan Saga Goku. So I feel like he becomes that much bigger deal who helps out now and again, but also with like the Cadmus stuff is probably pointed to as like one of the biggest reasons for like why superheroes are dangerous and such. So there's a story there.
Hmm. That's one of our alternate DBDC Earths. There you go.
Uh huh.
Now I just want to see the Kakarot Kent design in the Bruce Timm style. That
Oh,
could be fun.
that'd be great.
Man.
Just with the super broad chest.
Yeah, I know, right? The yin yang's like huge. Uh, Haram Boy 69. How would Gospel Goku change the rest of the Android saga? This is the Goku that got super religious.
Well, he immediately stops them from Trunks and Krillin from killing Baby Cell.
That's the best answer we're gonna get out of that. We're gonna move on. Newest Mirando, how would a conversation between Naruto and the Joker go? I have no idea.
I mean, I think the Joker just doesn't really handle anime protagonist. I think he just kind of, the Naruto would just call him a jerk, believe it, and the Joker just look to the left, look to the right, sees the 16-year-old kid trying to debate philosophy with him, while also wearing an orange jumpsuit, and just kind of like be like, well, if you're not gonna take this seriously, I'm out. So like that's how that would go. Joker does not mix with anime in that sense. It's shown in anime particularly. He's just like he's got no material for it.
It's like I don't understand these kids and their animes and their Beetleborgs, or their Bakugans.
Joker just immediately just tries to relate on a level, but he's just done.
There you go. I want you to build a Yu-Gi-Oh deck that the Joker would use.
Oh
That is my challenge
that's
to you.
fucking Steve challenge. He plays like the Joker. He's got some scummy strategy.
All right. How would the Saiyans react to the Diamond Authority from Steven Universe? I don't watch Steven Universe. I can't tell you. My friend Manos would be the one to answer that question. Let's see. Trenton Brown. Thanks for the Naruto answer, Geek. I like to think he'd lead his own team of teen heroes, especially with the franchise's idea of passing them on to the next generation.
Yeah, I could see that. He'd be very good at inspiring people. He'd be much better at Goku than that. Naruto's already very good as the leader, and he understands the. He's not as stupid as Goku is. He's stupid still, but like Goku's like doesn't understand basic social concepts. Naruto's just kind of booked on. He's quite strategically sound and all of that, and just like in terms of like a government, like he eventually does become the leader of a country. So like he's got to have something behind his noggin, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, totally. Let's hear. What if the Marvel symbiotes were in Dragon Ball? Ooh, I like that one.
I mean, who do you? I'm gonna ask you. Who gets it?
Oh, let's just assume what Venom and Carnage just to make it easy.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think Carnage and Cell would play really well together.
That's a very terrifying design. I need to see that draw.
Yeah. As far as who gets Venom, ooh. Okay, this is gonna be a weird one because I think like the immediate thing is go, oh, Vegeta obviously gets Venom, right? But like, what about Gohan?
Oh snap!
Because he's got like the rage thing going with him. Like that's the way the Cell arc changes is Cell gets Carnage and Gohan gets Venom. That's a cool fucking idea.
How does Gohan? Because Gohan's also the person who would try and understand it and try and like he'd find out the weaknesses to Sonic and Fire. So maybe that's what his Saiyaman costume becomes. Is it has like inbuilt like Sonics and Fire in case the symbiote gets out of control.
Mm-hmm. And like that, I don't know. That's just interesting because you've got like the whole Carnage's got like the whole like just fucking chaos, destroy everything, and that's what Cell was gonna do. Cell doesn't really need the power buff or anything, but you could like it's cool because it gives him extra like shape shifty powers too, which is fun. And then like Gohan's got like the inner rage thing that Venom would attach onto, but he'd still have that Eddie Brock thing. If we don't kill unless we have to. We're pacifists kind of thing. So I don't know. I think that plays well together. Um, that's fun. And then Vegeta's just off on the sidelines, like maybe if they fuck, I can have like the baby
He
and
gets
have toxin.
toxin,
Yeah,
but then freaking like Trunks gets it. He's like,
yeah.
damn it!
I mean, I think yeah. Actually, honestly, Goku and Vegeta would definitely not want a symbiote.
Yes.
Like just fully, they would reject that. The bond would not take. It would kill probably both sides of that attempt. Um, but that's an interesting one. Uh, are you going to include the Universe 6 Saiyans in Dragon Ball DC? Asks Mythology Guy. We
Well, it's a
have,
multiverse.
yeah, we have talked about that, and so like kind of we don't know if we have a story for them yet. That's something like wait and see, but like our kind of go-to is if we go to a gender bent universe, then we use Caulifla for Goku stand-in and Kaba for Vegeta stand-in. So like it's got the the potential there, but we don't have any direct plans at the moment.
Hmm.
Okay. What if both series of Cowboy Bebop and Firefly meet? Space Cowboys, anyone? By Primal. Um, hot take. Firefly's kind of fucking boring.
Ooh,
Um,
what's that? Oh no, it's so I can't say. I'm just gonna make noises.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't hate it or anything. I just like it's one of those things where its reputation is so just packed that it's impossible to watch the show and get much enjoyment out of it if you didn't watch it initially. I feel like I watched it and I'm like, yeah, of course this got canceled. It's like fucking weird and super niche. Why is anyone mad that it got canceled after one season? um, I could have seen that coming a mile away. This is something that should have been on Sci-Fi Network, not prime time. Um, sorry, hot takes, and I've still not seen Cowboy Bebop, so
You've
I
still
can't.
not seen
Just,
Cowboy Bebop? Okay, that's something. Maybe you'd
yeah,
have the similar thing, but I don't know. I think Bebop is just it's just generally good content, so we'll have to get on that one.
yeah. I mean, I like the theme. I love Tank. Tank's a great fucking jazz song. Alrighty. Sorry, Vegeta. My Vegeta fell. I've been playing with a Vegeta action figure. I shouldn't do that on stream.
What a book.
Yeah, I know. As you try your fucking Dragon Ball Norse God fan art.
You don't know my life.
What if Krillin married Zendaya instead of Android 18? Who?
The Bojack's girl minion.
Oh,
She gives Krillin like a kiss, I think. So it's
oh
because
yeah, because they always were trying to like, okay, here's this arc of the thing. Um, I don't know. I just the nothing changes. She's got the same backstory as 18. I got nothing for that one. I'm sorry.
yeah, I mean it's just hard to say because she has no character. So you just basically inventing someone. I guess you maybe add something to the fact that 18 didn't really hurt anyone when she went with Krillin, whereas Zangief was like a historic alien criminal. So there's
Mm.
more of like a Vegeta thing with her. But again, she's just so fucking bare. It says a lot about the characters in the film when TFS says, "Yeah, we can't make fun of them; they're too boring." So I
Hmm.
think that should say everything about the BoJack characters.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's when I was doing my big rewatch of all of Dragon Ball Z and all the movies and stuff. I fell asleep during the BoJack movie. Um, it is like normally I hear like some fans in the Dragon Ball community go, "Ah, that's just like 90 minutes of fighting. This is so boring." And I'm like, "Do you fucking watch Dragon Ball or not?" But that was the one where it's like, "This is just fighting. It is so boring."
It is a very
Uh,
pretty movie. I'll give it that.
yeah, I do like the designs and stuff in it. Let's see here. What if Frieza's empire encountered the Urkin Empire from Invader Zim? Says Andre Partridge. That's
Well,
a funny one.
first of all, I just want to hear those two voices yell at each other. You said 5 minutes. It's been 10. Well, I didn't know about the core of the planet. Well, maybe you should have predicted the core of the planet. You call yourself an emperor of the universe. Like I think that's just some top tier hysterical humor right there.
See, I remember the voice director for Invader Zim saying the thing she asked voice actors to do when they auditioned is, "I need you to be able to scream." So that and Dragon Ball really dovetail into each other, don't they?
Uh-huh. There you have it.
Hmm. EJ says, "Will Gogeta make an appearance in the Norse Gods? What if?" And it's all in caps and has a bunch of exclamation points and question marks after it.
Well, it's set after Broly, so they know it. But you saw how much of a Vegeta's not even here right now, so I think that kind of rules Gogeta out.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Otto Johnny says, "What's going on with DBDC?" Yeah, we're still working on the finale to the Entity Saga. Life stuff just kind of got in the way, so it had to take a back seat for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it is still in progress. It is still being worked on. I don't know if people love this or not, but we'll give some news for it and hope there's a cool reaction here. It's going to be an hour long, Alfie.
Yes.
Yeah, the finale episode in and of itself is going to be an hour long, which means the movie cut's going to be 2 hours.
So it'll be an actual movie.
Right, right. And then that's the one that's like fully narratively consistent because we didn't change styles after the first video and yada yada yada. So that one should be an interesting time. I hope. Hope that gives some good news on the horizon. Um, I should say, did I ever worry that we're gonna stop Dragon Ball DC or we're not doing it anymore? We might take breaks and hiatuses for it because we'd like it to be produced in a particular way and we want to kind of perfect it. Um, we're gonna be doing this until it's complete. We put a lot of time and energy and thought into this. This is gonna be finished, even if there are long breaks in between it. I
Mm-hmm.
remember like after the part one of the Saiyan saga and it took like another week or whatever, and people were like, "This is becoming an unfinished what if," and I'm like, come on, give just a little bit of time, please."
That's the one thing you can count on. Is one thing I dislike is when projects get like projects I'm really on board for never get finished and stuff. And I will say I am guilty of that myself with the Spider-Man 4 fan project. But at the same time, I was in a much more like less sure place creatively with how I was gonna do stuff, and I was more just ambition talking rather than just like skill. I'm very thankful for that experience because it helped me learn a lot of shit. It helped me get to where I am today. But given I know how to make DVDC and it's to its quality you guys enjoy, I'm always going to be doing this off and on, no matter what. Just in terms, unless YouTube just explodes. Even if I don't grow from where I am right now, you guys will enjoy it, and that is just insane. That we even break like 1,000 views on some videos, but the fact that we get to like 30 to 40,000, it just blows my mind. So I'm always going to do this as a hobby, and you will see those stories finished, DVDC particularly, just because we're so passionate and we're so proud of it. But yeah, don't ever worry about us going away. Just think of us as a nice surprise when we do come out. This year we're gonna try and be more consistent. Hold us to that. If we don't though, just keep in mind that no matter what, it's still gonna get done. Even if it takes a little longer than some of the fan projects. Because again, we have to get voice acting, we like to get official art, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and we're always trying to make each episode better than the last. Really taking that Goku lesson to heart.
Uh-huh. He's our
We never want
inspiration.
to phone one in. That's the big thing. We never want to phone in an episode just to meet an artificial deadline. Um, I'm seeing a lot of comments pop off. Hot damn, yay! The longer the better. I'm okay with an hour long finale. Nice. Yeah, so a lot of people are excited about that news. That's
Yeah.
really good. It's weird because I come from like the generation of YouTube where like if your video's longer than 10 minutes, what the fuck are you even doing? But now it seems that the algorithm's shifted. It's like, oh, it turns out people spending more time on our platform is a good thing. So it's like it's just weird. I don't know how people feel about long videos anymore, even though I've done hour-long podcasts on my channel for 8 years.
Go check that out,
Uh,
by the way, Geeky Gentleman.
yeah, if you just like to hear us bullshit and talk about stuff, we always have topics and reviews. It's a lot of fun. Curious Low says, "Oh, hopefully I don't take my voice acting career with an awful performance right out the gate." Now we've heard the voice. We're not going to tell you who it is, but we've heard the voice. You did a great job. We love it.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Mwah. Fantastical. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Excellent. Do more voices for us, please. We love you.
Yeah, we need more female voice actors and stuff just in general. It seems it's a harder part of the community to get a hold of, so it's really helpful because the people we have now are obviously talented, but we don't want to just go to the same, two to three women for all the voices because then
Mm-hmm.
all the characters will just sound too samey. We do need that variety there, so it's just super fun. Glad to have you. Um, Streamer255 says, I really like DBDC's Batman portrayal so far. Thank you. We're big Batman fans. We're really hoping we're doing the character justice in our version of this universe.
Mm-hmm.
Louis Mosquito says, what would it take for DC Goku to get Super Saiyan? I mean, maybe we'll never even do that. Because like he's already so powerful. There's probably an argument to be made that he doesn't even need it, to be honest.
Yeah, because we're in the DC universe anyway, and like, Superman can't go Super Saiyan. So, at what point do we want to make this DC goes Dragon Ball, or do we want to keep it actually true to the spirit of DC?
Yeah, like the thing is, there's all this like legendary Super Saiyan talk, and that's so it's like definitely something we've considered and we've put thought into, but he may just not, because it's hard to like follow that up and stuff. Okay, let's see here. Are Deathstroke episodes longer than 5 minutes? I have no idea. I've not seen it. Titan, who is actually Primal, says, "Is Broly still a mutant in canon? Would Marvel Broly unite mutant? Would Marvel Broly's unique mutant gene might gain the attention of Apocalypse, who would try to convert Broly into one of his Apocalypse horsemen?" Yeah, exactly. The thing is, you're talking about just Broly becomes a weapon for somebody, right? Like that's the thing. Um, I don't know if Broly's a mutant. Was Broly a mutant? Old Broly was a mutant?
I
Is that a
mean,
thing?
I think it's implied just
Hmm.
from the fact that he's genetically different than people, and I think some guidebooks describe what his deal is as a mutation. That's what the legendary Super Saiyan is. It's like a gene, but it's never been stated. So yeah, it's a cool headcanon. I buy it. It's probably what he physically is, but I don't know where else to take that.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, I guess. Joestar, will we see fusion of Goku and Vegeta or Goku and Batman in BBDC? That kind of would be the like underhanded thing to do, wouldn't it? Like Goku's in his desperate situation with the Patara earrings, and he's only got Vegeta there, and then suddenly Batman shows up and he throws the ring. He throws the earring to him. Um, Here's the real question: who's going to be harder to convince to put on jewelry, Batman or Vegeta? Um,
That is a question.
uh, Luz Mosquito, I believe, talking about Ultra Instinct Spider-Man. Well, the way Spider-Man exists, and it made Peter virtually untouchable. Yeah. Um, let's see here. Not just Manson says, I like Lady Shiva's Young Justice Outsiders design, especially in her sexy black lips. Well, you do you, boo. Um,
Nice.
Tevin Daniel says, what if Goku was in the God of War universe?
He get to fight a lot of strong people, so he'd have the time of his life.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, like, that, Super Saiyan God Goku. It's like the gods mock me. Like I don't know. That's a fun idea, kind of. I don't know. Probably he's Kratos is just kind of a bum rusher. Kratos doesn't have much like fighting skill when you get right down to it. So if you put like if you say their powers are roughly equal, Kratos is a bitch to put down, but I'm pretty sure Goku puts his ass down. I'll take that controversial opinion. Um, Noah Strebin says, would the Infinite Crisis event have the DC Dragon Ball meeting OC Dragon Ball? Or OG Dragon Ball, rather.
I'm unsure. It's one of those things where I'm completely going crazy with my layers right now. Repeat the question.
Would the Infinite Crisis event have the DC Dragon Ball meeting the OG Dragon Ball?
Well, Crisis already happened, and DC and Dragon Ball are, in my head, in the same hyper time, but in different multiverses. Dragon Ball has its own multiverse, and DC has its multiverse, and then they're all same in the same kind of. DC has an explanation, what Grant Morrison explains, for that every fictional universe in every history ever is connected in hyper time, but that's a whole deal. I don't really want to explain hyper time in an art stream for a fanfic, but no, it would just be the DC stuff.
Okay. Shortbeard donated $5 and says, "What if Harry Dresden was in Hellblazer? John and Harry, two wizard investigators with super tasteful coats." I don't know Harry Dresden. Do you?
Coats? I don't know. No.
No, nothing. Damn, I really feel bad for a $5 donation that we don't have anything. Harry Dresden. I don't know that. I'm sorry. I mean, John Constantine's just a dick. I think Zatanna's the only person in the magical community who doesn't, like, hate him and want to kill him, and that's probably only because he's really good at sex. Um, like, that, legit, I think the only reason Zatanna hasn't killed John Constantine is because she thinks he's hot. So, yeah, unfortunately, I guess maybe this Harry Dresden would end up just getting rid of him too, or just not like him. I don't know. I don't know enough about this other franchise. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I feel like you wasted your $5, and I apologize.
Bad, and you should feel bad. No one wastes anything with me. Okay. Odin is looking done. I didn't think I'd finish it tonight.
Yay. We got just couple other ones popping up. I don't think we're going to be able to get to all of them, but oh man, we were actually very close to the end here. There's one I wanted to backtrack and answer real quick, just do a little self-promotion-y thing. Noah Strebin says, have you guys ever thought about doing OC stories? As far as like introducing original characters into stuff, not necessarily. That feels like it'd betray the premise a little too much to make them like too important to the story. As far as just like completely original stories, I've written some stuff. If you go over to my channel, Sid Part 2, I do have a playlist of original short stories and audio in audio form that you can listen to. I believe there's links in the description to the text that might still work, assuming those websites are still up. But you can listen to that, or if you're just talking about other fan stuff, I've got a couple things in there that, hey, might be worth your time. So you got that. I don't know if Alfie's got anything like that for you.
No, that's my only main things you can check out are these ones, so live with it.
All right, let's see if I can go through a couple of these real quick. Death Note DC Universe. Someone's going to take him out. There's a good Zatanna story. Zatanna can track that shit down and handle it. Bam.
Seth the Programmer did a very interesting analysis of Batman tracking him down, which I thought you could check out. It's one of them. It's more power scaling, but I quite like the idea of how there's power scaling detective abilities is pretty unique. So I think that's a video of his you should go check out if you want that kind of content.
Andre Partridge, what if Ben 10 gets a Saiyan form? I mean, that's kind of a cool idea.
At the same time, does it like give him all his Super Saiyan forms off the bat, or is he just the base Saiyan?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he gets like doesn't he swap bodies with an existing member of that race, or am I making that up?
You're making that up. It changes the DNA of the race is put in the Omnitrix, and then he can activate it to change his body into that race.
Okay, then he has jack shit, and he's basically just a low-class Saiyan. So he's able to stomp whatever a low-class Saiyan can stomp, and then he gets pretty fucking outclassed pretty quickly. Because you need the training. There's very little just innate power in Saiyans in and of themselves. But by the time you get to like the end of Dragon Ball Z and shit, what if the Z Fighters were to meet the crew of the Starship Enterprise from Next Generation? Oh man, that especially because Star Trek's so like non-conflicting. That's kind of an interesting idea. Like those two would not get along well. Um, Mosquito says, I actually think Venom slash Carnage would be even more powerful in DB if you go off of the idea of symbiotes collecting the powers and memories of previous hosts. Yeah, but like, who were their previous hosts? You know, like the alien races of Dragon Ball are not actually particularly very powerful compared to, you know, just the humans that have trained as time has gone on. So, uh, let's see here. The Cheviz TV says, "Hi, remember me?" Sorry, but no.
Nope.
What would be ideas you guys would do for a character in DBZ slash GT slash Super who was a samurai, potentially a Ronin, who could also use ki? Fucking
Trunks.
yeah. Fucking Ronin Kenshin in Dragon Ball. I don't know.
That'd be
That's
badass.
yeah. I mean, he wouldn't fight anybody. Oh man, not just Manson. That time Goku came out of the room of spirit and time in Cell Saga, he told Vegeta he was weaker than him. And what if Vegeta attacks him in that moment? I guess he loses.
Yeah, I mean, Vegeta wouldn't really want to do that anyway, because his whole point was trying to like definitively prove that he's better than Goku. So he wouldn't want to have the unfair. His plan was probably, I'm gonna beat Cell. Kakarot's gonna go in there, and then I'm gonna kill Kakarot to prove that I even train better than him. But then he lost to Cell, and then Goku trained better than him. So Vegeta's plan failed too front there, I feel.
Not just Manson, or no, I'm sorry, Josh Campbell. I don't know. Kratos can get pretty creative. Plus, Kratos changed a lot as a character in God of War 4. Very true, very true. But he's just such a fucking bum rush of a fighter.
Even
Like
in God
even
of War, his stronger mode is when he goes into rage mode and he just throws caution to the wind and starts pounding shit. That's like a power up in game that makes you just statistically stronger. So I feel like even though he has changed, his core advantage is the bum rush idea.
Mhm. Shortbeard saying it's okay that we have no idea what Dresden Files is. Though if you ever find the time, I highly recommend reading Dresden Files. Great fantasy series set in Chicago. Cool. Maybe, maybe. And Tevin Daniels, you'll be our final one. I'm glad we rushed through these because I want to be sure if we could to answer every question. In DB Norris, will Goku visit the Nine Worlds?
Well, Goku's in a pretty precarious situation, but even if Goku doesn't join us, we will get to see each of them in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, nice, nice. All right, that'll probably do it for the stream, right, Alfie?
Yes, that is it. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Ian, for helping me on this very adventure. It got weird, it got wholesome. I very much enjoyed this. And if you guys want, we'll make this a more regular thing.
Yeah, I have super fun time doing these. It could be weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, something like that. It's super fun, whatever works.
So yeah, given all of that, I hope you enjoyed this sneak preview of Young Odin, which you'll get to see the misadventures of when we come back with the next DB Norse episode. So yeah, a bit of a sneak peek for people who check out the stream. Be sure to share the channel, watch the old videos, and we will be back with more content sooner than later.
Bye.
Peace out, my friends, you sinful, sinful.